Welcome to the Los Culeros podcast, where the arrows fly straight and the conversations stay real. We're your hosts, Jose Jara and Josh Peña. We're just a couple of everyday guys with a growing love for the archery, the outdoors, and the journey that comes with both. By no means are we pros or veterans, but we're all in. Whether you're new to the bow or have years under your belt, you're welcome here. This podcast is all about sharing stories, learning from guests, and building a community around the sport we've grown to love. So grab your bow, lace up your boots, and join us as we dive into archery, hunting, and life, one shot at a time. All right, so we're back again with Josh and George Viescas.
That's right.
What's up, George?
Hello, boys. Hello.
What's up, dude?
So, walk us through how you got into it.
Well, it all started in 2018. I started with quail, right?
Yeah.
I would go with my buddy, Robert, and we shoot quail. But other than that, archery was kind of, I don't know, it was new to me.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't until like that summer, my cousin, at the time they were living in Arizona, and he gave me a box with the bow. And it was the Matthews Chill X.
Yeah, I remember that.
So that was kind of cool. That was the first time I ever got introduced to it. When I shot it, and it wasn't like, it was just weird because it wasn't, at the time, the modules were draw specific.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just weird. But anyways, once I got it fitted for me, it was okay. It was cool.
Yeah.
I liked it. But then started seeing like everybody else shooting. For whatever reason, I got into carbon bows. So then I ended up selling, I think I bought a Hoyt. Whatever it was at the time. And from there, that's where it started, really.
Yeah.
And
You're shooting quail with the bow?
No, we're shooting. No, I'm saying like back in the day, like in 2018 when I started hunting.
Oh, okay.
Started hunting with
okay.
quail. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't archery. It was.
I was like,
I never deer hunted in my life.
I know he was good, but I didn't know he was that good at shooting quail with the bow.
I've shot some. I'll tell you, I shot some. But no, I'm just saying, like back in the day, I was never into hunting. I've, working at where I work, everybody was usually into it. That's, the area that I work at, everybody's hunting all the time.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what, somebody's doing something.
Yeah.
But I never been a big hunter. I used to make fun of them, actually.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until 2018, and how to know is that when we got drawn for elk, it was just that was it.
So quail was like your gateway.
That was cool. I liked it. I bought my first shotgun. It was I liked it. But as far as like deer hunting, any other species, I never really got into it. It wasn't until that bow was given to me, and then kind of like doing a little bit of research, like, oh man, those archery elk hunts, deer hunts, with the bow they look interesting. So that's how I started but it started all with just shooting birds, I guess.
Yeah.
And then from there, like I said, 2018, and then ever since then we've kind of been on a roller coaster because I can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
And like
you got hooked.
Yeah, I did, dude. It was like it was like I've always been the type of person that's always done stuff for myself, by myself, kind of. And so, when me and Hada had the same hunt in 2018, that summer I had scouted an area that was completely different from where we hunted.
Yeah.
Like it was completely different, dude. It sucked. Like we went into that area, and then me and Hada were like, we didn't know where to go. Because that area, I never seen that area in my life. What's crazy about that area where we went was that Friday when we got there, Hada wasn't there yet, but we went for a drive, for a little cruise. So we go out to this area, and on the way back, that's where we seen elk. So then when I talking to the guys that was with them, my side by side, they're like, hey, well, why don't you guys start over here? And luckily enough, that's the area we hunted, and we were surrounded by bulls, those.
Yeah, I remember that because I remember you scouted a whole different area, and I hadn't got there yet. You were a little upset that we were going to hunt somewhere different.
Yes,
You're like,
yes,
man, I scouted all this area. I know where I want to be. I know where I want to go. And then that Friday, you go up there, and you just run into freaking elk everywhere. And I remember we hit camp, and you're like, dude, I know we're not going to go where I said. We're going to go over here. And then it was just up every morning, up and down, trying to get the hang of it, trying to figure out where they were, what they were doing.
But yeah, it's pretty interesting though. You're talking about quail kind of being like your gateway, like, hey, you want to try some quail, and then now you're like fully addicted to hunting.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, even though it sucks, is I only had, let me see, I've had 2 archery hunts for elk, and then I've had probably 2 for deer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's it. Everything else, I mean, has been rifle.
Yeah.
And even with rifle, I mean, even rifle is, it's not as, everybody thinks it's just because you have a rifle, it don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you still gotta, like, even if it's a 400-yard shot,
Yeah.
you know, you're shooting at, you know, some, like when I shot my Coos deer, you know, it was only 268, but I was by myself.
Yeah.
I had nobody, and this is late December.
Yeah.
So you're like, you know what I mean? It's a little sketchy, dude. But yeah. I mean, archery is still, I still love archery, but like I said, it back in 2018, it was crazy too, because that was that same year. Like I said, I got my bow, and then like I don't remember who told me to put in for a hunt. They're like, hey, you should try it. It's your first time. You should get drawn.
I think it's probably somebody from the mines, no? Because
I believe so.
yeah.
And after that, it was just like, you know, like I said, like we went blindsided into that unit, and just to be able to, and then I never like at bugling.
Yeah.
Like I remember there was times where I would go to work early in the morning.
Yeah.
And on the highway, crack my window down, and I practiced my bugling.
Yeah.
All the way from, you know, from like Deming to work.
Yeah.
And just every day. It was, I'm not going to say every single day at work, but it was probably 3 times out of the 5 days.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually worked. It was amazing because, I mean, we called.
Yeah.
We called some.
It was
some
crazy
bulls.
because we met, I think he's related to you, know, Chris.
Oh, Chris Baca?
Chris Baca. He heard this guy bugle and he was like, dude, that's too good.
Yeah.
You sound like a big fucker. Like, you don't want to sound that big. You're not going to have anybody come in. But no, he was challenging bulls and they were fucking on him. I think it was second or third day, he called in a bull to like 15 yards. Remember that? There's this big ass thing of brush and you're behind it. And he called him right into him. And then it's like, what do you do at that point?
Yeah.
You know? Like, it was too close. We hadn't figured all that out yet. But man, that shit was wild. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, and that's one thing I tell people, like, you guys don't understand. Like, to hunt deer, I mean, it's good. It's an adrenaline rush too, right? But to have such a massive animal in front of you, and you got to get them close. I mean, like, I've taken some shots I probably shouldn't tell. You know what I mean? Because they're far.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the time, and everybody's done it. You can't have a person out there being like, oh no, he was 100. I'm not gonna shoot him. No, if you see that bull, that one bull, you're gonna shoot him. At least you're gonna try, right? I mean, we practice every time we go practice. It's always like, oh, you start off at 20 or you start off at 40, 50. But there's always at the end of the day, you're like, okay, well, let's do about 100 yards.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why we have long range now. You know, that long range set up because, you know, we've hunted antelope and we know it's not easy to get in close to an antelope.
No. You know,
I mean,
and that's
every time I've spot and stalked them, 110 is probably as close as I can get.
Oh yeah.
Before, you know, if they don't see you, well, if they see you, they'll book it. But that's when I really started practicing longer ranges, man, because there is circumstances that you don't want that one to get away, and that's the only shot you get. And when you practice that all the time, it's easier.
Right.
Not just throwing Hail Mary out there.
Yeah. That's what I was getting at is there's those hunters that go out there and their bow stays in the case all year. And then a week before the hunt, they take it out and they're like, oh, I'm only good to 40.
Yeah.
Or I'm only good to 30. I would never take a shot past 30. Well, yeah, you don't practice past 30, you know, but us that we shoot.
I think the farthest shot I've ever taken at as a buck was 92 yards. And I just missed him. I think I shot over him, but yeah. I mean,
I think mine's been like at a deer in Arizona, dude. It's been 80. I'm pretty sure it was 89 because when I ranged him, he was in the 80s, like about 80, and then he kind of walked up, and I was really locked on him. I wasn't gonna
let down,
and then range, and then so I kind of put it a little bit above his, like right at his back, and it just went like under him. Like he wasn't like I'm assuming must have been 90, probably 91, 92, but he was. I mean, that's a 4 shot.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. That's crazy too, man. I don't know if you see it the same way, but like, say for example, you see a mule deer at 50 yards in the mountains and it don't look that far. Then you come to the range down here and 50 yards, it seems like it's football field away.
Yeah.
Like, I know my deer wasn't that far. You know, it was only 55 yards, but here in the flats, it seems so much farther.
that's it. That's what like it throws me out. Like there's people that could tell the distance, and I can't.
Yeah.
Like I don't have time. Like I'm sure if I practice enough.
Yeah.
But I think we just gotten lazy. Like guys, get the range finder. Get the range finder.
Yeah, and you have some pretty top notch equipment, so you know why not use it?
Yeah,
You know
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, the only way, because I've tried, we've both tried, you know, shoot open and ASA and stuff, but we did unranged and unknown. That shit's tough, man.
it is.
It's freaking tough.
It's
And he
tough.
was pretty good about it, but yeah, it's tough. And my first buck that I killed, I had to, my rangefinder died, and I didn't have a spare battery, so I guessed on the yardage and nailed him. But that was one of the hardest shots I've ever made, honestly, because not knowing the range when you're used to pulling that rangefinder out, you know, it's way different when you don't have it.
Yeah, it is, because the same thing happened to me back in 22. We're chasing this. It was weird because it was the second hunt, and it wasn't like they weren't talking really. The elk were. It was September, second hunt, and I had my buddy drop me off. We're chasing this giant 7x7. He had like I don't know how many cows with him, a bunch of satellite bulls. So I told him, drop me off at this road, and then I'll meet you on the other side. Well, on my way up there, the area's kind of weird, because it's kind of like trees, but it's open. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? It's like one tree, and then you walk, and there's like open, and then random trees. It's not like packed with like the forest. And so as I'm walking there, it was early in the morning, and they had just like sprinkled. So I look to my left, and I see this bull, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? So then, instead of going to where I was going, I tried to cut him off. Well, I kind of lost him. And as I'm coming around this tree, I see horns, and I'm like, oh my God. So, you know, I shoot multiple. Well, everybody shoots multiple. I shot double pin. So I think I had my bottom pin at 35, and the bottom was at 42, 43, whatever it was. So when the bull stopped, I didn't have time to range, because as soon as I seen him, I drew back, and I was like, just like tucking myself in that tree so he wouldn't see me. And I couldn't tell, dude. I was like, is he 35? Is he? Because they're so massive, you know what I mean? I couldn't tell. So I said, you know what? The heck with. So I put my top pin, which is at 35, and I barely nicked him, like bottom, like it would have been like a hard shot. I would have been. And so after that, he just took off. And then, well, anyways, long story short, I went to the chase the other. I got within 160 of the big bull, but the cow busted me, and they were gone. I mean, this whole hillside, I mean, there was, dude, this
all
thing
came
was,
alive.
if I had a muzzle load, I'm pretty sure I would have, for sure.
Yeah.
At 160 maybe. But I went back, and I went exactly to the same spot where I shot, and dude, he was 45. 45 yards from where I shot.
Yeah.
So you should have used your bottom pin.
I should have used my bottom pin.
Yeah.
Well, exactly where he must have been, like maybe 40, 42, in that between 40 and 45. That's where it should have been. But still, it would have been a. But just having that, it's hard. Like, because if I would have my rangefinder, would hit him with the rangefinder, and be like, hey, he's 43, 42, whatever, and I've been okay, bottom pin, just put it right on him.
Or even just like a partner, man, just to range them real quick and stuff. It's a game changer, man.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the factors that I didn't, because I like to hunt by myself, you know, but when it comes down to spot and stalking, you can't see everything around you. So having a set of eyes watching your move and being able to tell you, you know, move, don't move, that type of stuff, it's a game changer. But when you don't have it, it's just, I don't know if it's skill or luck, man. It's either, because I mean, there's some people like Levi Morgan, for example, he knows yardage, you know, but like somebody that's starting off and you don't have time to range, or, you know, for example, my antelope hunt, or our antelope hunt, I arranged this antelope. He was coming to me. I ranged him at 64, And when he turned his head away from me, I drew back on him. And he walked. I thought it was straight. So it was 64 yards. And I took the shot and it went under him. And what he did is like he was walking straight, but he was walking out to like away from me.
At an angle.
At an angle.
Oh, yeah.
So it, like with the terrain and everything, I thought he was straight in front of me, but he had walked out another 10 yards and I went right underneath him. And he bailed, but that was yeah, man, it's tough. It looked like he was still the same size body and everything. Like it didn't look like he changed at all, but he was 10 yards different.
Yeah. I think we're 10 years away from a site company coming out with that Garmin's pretty good, but
but
something a little better.
Yeah, but I've heard like when they initially first came out, a lot of issues. Like it just doesn't range like it's supposed to, and it's just.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe 5-10 years.
You catch a branch, you catch a blade of grass, and there's so many factors that can ruin it.
Mm-hmm.
I could see somebody that does a lot of maybe it's sitting at a water hole and it's kind of open, then or a tree stand, and you're
definitely a tree stand. I could see that,
but it has to be like kind of open. You know what I mean?
Open.
If it's like where we hunt, I mean, there's, and then too the weather will it never fails.
Condensation, a little bit of fog.
Dude. Yeah, there's been definitely a lot of variables when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, like from when I started to now, dude, it's crazy how popular archery has become.
Oh man, I think when COVID hit, that was like the major shift. Once they started seeing like, shelves going empty and that stuff, and they're like, hey, well, what do you mean you got meat, or how do you do that? And a lot of people that like were curious about it, got some money, and hey, let's try this thing, and
and it's not expensive. I mean, you can make it expensive as you want. Like you don't have to have the top notch.
No, not at all.
Bow. I think I took out it's funny too. What are we? 25, 23, 2023. I took out this guy from work, right? And this guy, if you looked at him, you'd be like, well, he's probably like, I don't know, he's got to be under 5 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
And he had some type of injury with the shoulder, so he couldn't pull back that much, right? So he ended up, I think his max weight was 45 pounds, top 50 maybe. Opening day, I think opening day he went by himself, and I went with him the next day. And that's that area that we had scouted originally in 2018 where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
I took him in there. And I just happened, like always being good with seeing animals at a distance. So I happened to get a glimpse of a cow kind of feeding down over this little hill. You could barely see the back over. And I told him, yeah, get your bow. Let's go see if we can. Hey, I keep hearing a bull, you know what I mean? And I have a video where he's going after the bull he killed, right? But he shot it at probably over 60 yards.
Yeah.
His arrow weight was, I know it was kind of heavy.
Yeah.
But at 40 some pounds, dude, he killed it. Perfect shot.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like I can say, but he kind of got carried away with, because we told him, he's like, what do you think about buying this bow or what? I was like, do whatever you feel comfortable, whatever's in the budget. You don't have to buy top notch carbon bow. You don't need. I heard people like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't what equipment you have. Everything's gonna kill, just shot placement.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he got a little expensive with this setup. I mean, it was a few $1,000s.
Yeah.
But I don't really necessarily think that you need something super expensive to get into it.
No, not even, man. I mean, you think about it. Way back in the day, they were stick and string with freaking homemade arrows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's entirely possible. Yeah, I think you're exactly right. You don't need the most expensive setup out there. You just need to know how to shoot it.
It's all about the amount of time you spend out there, not the equipment that you buy. Even though it's easy to get carried away. It's definitely easy to get carried away.
It's a preference. I think it's a preference.
Oh yeah.
Because every like I think the last bow that I ever bought was probably like 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the last prime I ever bought. I shoot prime. I have nothing against anything else. I just happen to like prime.
Yeah.
And this is the thing that gets to me too, like people with their brands.
Yeah.
Like, well, you gotta shoot a Hoyt. You gotta shoot a Hoyt, or you gotta shoot a Matthews, because Matthews.
Yeah.
Dude, it doesn't.
Like those fucking PSE guys, bro.
I know, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Those guys too. I heard about them.
Yeah. No, it comes down to like Chevy, Ford,
Yeah,
You know?
it's just fucking guys that argue about everything,
Mhm.
bro.
Yeah, it's in our nature, you know.
Yeah, because like I said, when I started, this bow was given to me. It wasn't, I didn't buy it. It was
Yeah.
just given to me. And then
Yeah.
I just got curious and I was like, you know what? I might try it out. And I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, it was where, okay, let's see what we can do. And
Yeah.
well, to spend money to shoot it where it was comfortable for me was going to take a few $100s. So then I said, you know, I'll just sell it and get myself something else better.
Yeah, I think you ended up with the Hoyt RX 5 Redworks something. I know it was carbon.
It was, I don't remember the gray one.
Gray,
Yeah, and I got it from Larry.
Yeah.
I got it. That's the only reason why I wanted it.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, like I said, it's just that's the beauty. The beauty about it is cheap.
Mhm.
Like you don't need
Yeah.
like a $7,000 setup to go kill something. And I think that's why everybody kind of
it's easy, accessible. You know, yeah, you're gonna spend some money to start, and as you start to progress and get better, you know, you stop losing arrows, you stop breaking arrows, and you can reuse those arrows, and then you start learning how to fletch your own arrows.
What year does that start, bro?
I know, right?
Lost that arrow the other day.
Yeah, but when I started,
that's true.
When I started, I was losing a dozen every 2 weeks. I had to go to the bow shop, and they loved me in there.
I know, dude. I was so hurt, and I used to like, you know, those gold tips, the hunters,
Yeah.
400. You know, what I mean? They're what are they, like $60 a dozen
Mhm.
or so
Yeah.
at the time. So I break one or lose one, and I'd be so pissed. Like I would literally like throw my shit around like a little kid. You know what I mean? Because I was so pissed. Like, oh, you broke an arrow, you lost an arrow. I'm done. I'm done for the day.
Yeah.
But then nowadays, it's like, well, it's gonna happen. I mean,
Mhm.
Yeah, there's no way that it doesn't happen, man. It's gonna happen eventually. You know, this guy over preps for tact. You know, he'll go out there with 24 arrows and come home with probably a little bit more arrows.
An uneven number of arrows. That's what
Bro.
drives me nuts.
And well, shit, we went tack last year. He didn't. I don't think you missed at all, did you?
I missed twice.
But we got your arrows back. No, we didn't.
I lost one.
Yeah. So I mean, it happens. I broke a shitload of arrows. I lost a couple too, but out of the two of us, he came back with more arrows. Well, more arrows than he thought he was gonna lose. But it happens, dude. I mean, I lost an arrow the other day. I don't know where it went. I don't know where it hit. I mean, when it went, I was trying the new hinge release. So whenever I was drawing back, I closed my eyes sometime in the process, and that arrow took off.
Yeah.
I didn't see no dirt. I didn't see anything. I still don't know where that arrow is.
Are you using the hinge yet or no?
No.
Yeah.
I don't like messing with my. Honestly, if it's shooting, why mess with it?
Yeah.
Like if it's shooting good, I don't like.
What are you shooting right now? What kind of release?
Scott.
Okay.
But just the stump release.
Hmm.
Well, I have that and I have the Ultra View.
At the Sigma, what is that one?
No, Carter.
Oh, it's Carter.
Carter. No, I'm sorry, it's not Scott. It's a Carter.
Carter
release.
Yeah.
Carter 3-finger, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's comfortable. Like I've tried.
Yeah.
I tried the Ultra View, which I have. I like it, but I just can't shoot.
Is that the hinge? Or what is that?
No, it's just
the button.
is still the thumb.
Oh, it's the, okay.
But it shoots good. I can't be as consistent as I can.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a mental thing. Like it's one of those things that you just like in your.
It's like your lucky underwear, you know.
Pretty much, yeah.
You gotta. Hey, where's my lucky underwear?
That like, dude, we have this getting kind of off subject, but we have this superstition, right? We have this orange beanie that me and my boy usually wear. Like, and we wear this all the time. And like all the times that we gone to shoot deer with the rifles, we got unlucky. And it's one of those things that stays in the truck, doesn't come out of the truck. Yeah, it stays in the truck during hunting season. All you do, you don't wash it, you don't do nothing, dust it off. Just dust it, a little dusting, and then you put it on. And vámonos. It can smell like whatever it's gonna smell like. You're just gonna wear it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think all the times that we've had that, when he killed his big buck in 21, I think he was wearing that. Yeah, he was wearing that.
That's cool. That's cool.
What buck was this? I missed that one.
No,
I didn't. I don't think I saw a picture of that one.
Yeah, I have it on my social media.
Yeah,
I think it was 21, wasn't it?
21, 22. I know it was.
Yeah, it was a big one, dude. It was. Actually, should have been 2, but for whatever reason, I think he just wanted me to kill the other big one, because it's an untypical. And then there was he was like an 8, but he was big. Yes, this one. Let me see. That was from.
Because you got your first one in what, 24? With a rifle?
Yes, that one.
Heck yeah, I don't think I saw that picture.
I remember that one.
is.
Hey, good job to him, man. Hell
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like, I think that's our biggest buck we ever killed.
Yeah.
Well, that was that one, and then another one, but
Mm. There's definitely some nice ones back there, man. We've seen quite a few nice sized bucks. We had one running down the road, the damn highway one time.
Oh man,
I got a picture of him
man.
somewhere, but
I was so
giant,
frustrated.
dude.
I had just gotten the Forerunner, or I probably would have hit it if I was in my red truck. I probably would just fuck it, you know, claim the insurance.
nah,
Yeah,
there it is,
he
dude.
was a
There's
big one.
this last year too. This last season. I mean, I kind of like, you know, we're kind of like, I don't know about how you guys feel about it, but out of staters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, these guys are just taking our tags or whatever. But anyways, this guy from Arizona, man, I've seen him in there like 3 years,
Mhm.
like kind of in a row. Well, yeah, kind of. Well, I've seen him in there about 3 times.
Mhm.
And yeah, this last season he killed a giant. He's just killed a giant. Like, and this dude doesn't have a 4-wheeler, doesn't have nothing. He just stays off the road and hikes in there,
Mhm.
puts in the work. And I think the last, well, that was for 2024,
Yeah.
but for 2023, he said he killed this little forky, but this one was big. I mean, I couldn't believe how big it was.
Mm.
Yeah, I can respect that when they come from out of state, put in the work, do the research, do the scouting, come out here and do that. But when it's out of staters that come in here to get away from the wife and just hang out at deer camp and leave a mess, that's when I'm like, what the hell are you guys doing out here? Do that where you come from.
Nah, yeah, it's the same thing. It's like you wouldn't do that at home. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Gotta
Yeah.
take care of.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's times where we've gone out there and we've seen the same, you know, deer camp or elk camp, and the truck's there the whole time. They're out there drinking, hanging out, bullshitting, and it's like that's one less tag that's in that unit because of you guys, and they don't take it serious. They're just, you know, when I first started getting into archery, there was a couple of guys that we used to put in from work, and they would put in, and they would get like their third choice, and they'd be like, "Nah, I'm not gonna go. That's not what I wanted." It's like, really? Why not? So that was a little upsetting.
Yeah, I've done that too. I've done that where I'm like, how am I gonna go? You know, it's this stupid unit.
Yeah.
Like when I have my coos hunt, right?
Yeah.
You know, trying to be, you know, because at work, you know, that's what we do. Like at work, oh, did you put in? No, I didn't put in this and that. Just trying to be sarcastic, being just a jackass, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I literally, when I got my coos, I literally put in, dude, like the last day before the deadline, right?
Yeah.
And then I thought it was 23 regular, right? No, I ended up like it was early. No, it wasn't even the burras. It was early December in 23.
Oh shit.
And then and it's coos. I mean, I never even thought to hunt coos up there, you know. And it was, I tell you what, dude, that in itself is a learning experience.
Yeah.
Like it was, like I said, everybody thinks that archery is hard. It's hard. It's the same thing with deer, because those things you can't find them. Like it's the most frustrating animal you will ever hunt in your life. It doesn't matter.
Not only that, they don't call it the gray ghost for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Coos
exactly. It's crazy, dude. It was.
Dude, even I took my daughter out in 24, and she's like, I want to kill a whitetail. And she had either species. And I was like, are you sure? She's like, yeah, I want to kill a whitetail. I want a whitetail buck. What she kept telling me. And I was like, all right, well, I've never seen them here, so we have some work to do. And I got lucky, dude. I hit this one tank, and they were just there every single day, but they would never present a shot. So the first time we had these two trophy bucks come in, right? I didn't know that they were there. They're so damn light-footed. They're
Mm-hmm.
So I was there, and we're watching the water, and I kept hearing this reverse kind of snort, I know, like a dog. And I said, "What is that noise?" I kept looking around, and I could see just the rack through the grass, and it was like snorting at us. But it was like a weird, like, I don't know how to explain it, dude. Like someone's trying to hawk a loogie, you know?
Yeah.
Reverse. It kept doing that, and I bolted, and then I saw the other one right behind it. Like, damn it, they were coming in. I don't know what set them off. We weren't making any noise. We were pretty still, but yeah, they spotted us right away.
Yeah.
They're very finicky animals.
Yeah, they are. That's why you have some like 100-inch.
Mm-hmm.
Coos deer is considered a trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
So I mean, I say I don't know if I got lucky, but I mean, it sucks, dude. Like that's a lot of glassing. I mean, to the point where your eyes are. It literally looks like you've been drinking all day or smoking all day, but
Yeah, because your
you're
eyes are
just
just
like-
toasted.
yeah, your eyes are
Mhm.
just toasted from the spotting scope or the binoculars.
Albinos.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy too, because like where we were is kind of open, and then you see them go like on a little, I kid you not, maybe like a little bush that's not even probably up to your little past my knees, and you never see them come out.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, where did they go? And I'm thinking, well, they must have like little underground tunnels where they're
Something, right?
dude. Because I'm telling you, like it's.
That's crazy.
And then you hear of people like killing like big old like 120-inch coos,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah. In
'Cause-
Texas.
no, there's
I saw a giant one in a customer's house, man. I thought it was a state record.
Yeah.
It was big. Yeah,
Shit.
it was big.
That's crazy.
And I will tell you this, I think the meat tastes way better than
The
well
mule?
to me. Yeah, the muley, yeah.
No way.
I swear,
It's
dude.
like more tender, no?
It's more. I feel like it's more tender and less gamey.
Less
Like
gamey?
it doesn't as gamey
Mm.
as a muley, because you could, like when you eat a muley in January,
Yeah.
how like they taste like what they smell like.
Mm-hmm.
Even elk.
Yeah.
Well,
even
if you
out.
shoot the little ones like I do.
No, yeah.
The,
Yeah,
little,
'cause-
the little ones are tender.
yeah, because my boy too. I think in 22, I think he shot a small, tiny one, barely legal buck, but yeah, they're just good, dude. Like
Yeah.
I try to save that meat, especially the backstrap,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and oh my god, I mean,
It's hard.
and then my wife, she's really picky with eating. Like she doesn't like a steak. She can't even really eat a steak, you know what I mean? Because it, I guess, messes up her stomach, or whatever.
Mhm.
But with wild game, it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm telling you, coos is, and all you do is just an iron skillet and some butter,
Some butter,
Mm-hmm.
and
salt, and
then
pepper.
salt and pepper.
That's it.
I got my own butter on, and I do it. It's just medium rare. You
That's
can't-
right. You were telling me you got your own.
Yeah,
your own
actually,
little-
do. Yeah,
Hell yeah. That's what's
Is
I-
it production or what?
Yeah. I've at work I've sold a few already. It's
Mm-hmm.
I mean it's nothing special, but it's what I tell the guys is I'm not selling you on the world greatest seasoning.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to sell you is on like the convenience.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go through your pantry and
Mm-hmm.
get your salt, your pepper, and measure everything, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
it's already in a bottle.
Yeah.
And like I said, I usually it's good.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna try it. I'm going to try it.
You have a name for it?
Well, I call it. Funny story with that one is I call it George's butts on,
Uh-huh.
like butt.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is
Butts
one
are
time
sore.
I had some peppercorn that smell like butt,
Mm-hmm.
and it just stuck. Like, butts on.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody was like, "Hey, can we get some of that butts on?" Like, right,
Fuck
dude.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Hell
it's
yeah.
it's
Hell
good
yeah,
stuff,
man.
especially like on steaks. If you're grilling, it comes out really really good.
How much you sell it for?
Usually people just like $8
Mm.
for it's kind of a big bottle. It's not,
Yeah.
but I was kind of pricing it out between like if I was to get into this, what would be an ideal price where people are like, okay, well, it's not too expensive,
Mm-hmm.
and have them come back and say, hey, you want another bottle? So I think that because usually most little bottles are $6, $5.
Yeah.
And I tried because mine's just a plain, SPG, salt, pepper, and garlic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it is. There's nothing special about it. But it's just compared to some of the stuff that I tried, I think to me, it's superior to other
Mhm.
people. It is because it's,
Yeah.
I mean, it just tastes good, dude. On steak, especially like over like a charcoal grill. Oh my
Mhm.
God, it's
Oh,
phenomenal.
I know, like my wife likes a lot of garlic on her steaks.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking about like charcoal. My sister for Father's Day, she invited us over and we had some steaks over at her house, and I gave her a little charcoal grill like 5-6 years ago, and we always cooked on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I went over for Father's Day, and she bought a new grill. It's propane, and I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, well, it's whenever you're not around, it's harder to start, and this is easier. And we made everything on there, and then she's like, it tastes different.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, but it's bring the other one back.
Need a smoker and some mesquite wood.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually do like half charcoal and half mesquite. And it's pretty good.
You know, there's a lot of mesquite at Centennial.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've been wanting to go up there and clean it all out.
I like mesquite, but I don't. I usually
What's
just
your go-to?
hickory.
Hickory.
Yeah, just because mesquite burns hot
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and it burns quick.
Yeah.
So if you're like, say for example, you're smoking a brisket. So I have like I have a regular like offset smoker, right, which is the one you got to feed yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then I
Yeah.
have one that's called a smoking vault, which is like looks like a vault, but it's propane.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have, for whatever reason, last year I decided to jump into this pellet smoking gang, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only used it twice and I don't like it.
Dude, so,
It's just you can't build. So for my son's graduation, was it 2 years ago? I smoked I don't know how many briskets. I smoked a lot of food, dude. I smoked chicken. I smoked the brisket, and with that, if you do it yourself with no pellet smokers, you can't build that bark,
mm-hmm.
and I think it just gets away from the flavor.
Yeah.
So
So
what are you running, like a pit boss or?
well, I have a pit boss,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't like it because you can't build that crust.
Mm-hmm.
So the bark, I should say, like the exterior, I want it to be like when
crispy.
when I like usually when I run my offset smoker, is usually
Yeah.
you throw charcoal in there for a starter, then you throw hickory,
Mm-hmm.
and you
So
just
you're
let it
talking
get
like hickory chips?
no,
or
like the chunks.
The
Without the
okay.
chips and now the chunks.
Mm-hmm.
But it just builds a nice crust, you know what I mean? And it gets nice and dark, and then after that, you just pull it off. And with the pit boss, I noticed that you just can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was talking to my buddy John Dudley, and he was telling me to get a Traeger. Said Traegers are pretty good. You ever had one of those?
I might as well buy one. I mean, it was funny too when I bought that pellet smoker, man. We went to Lowe's, and I was so set on it. And like once they said, "Hey, this is a price." I was like, "No, it's not." Well, a lot of times I'm this type of like a typical guy, right? You just look at the price. If it's sitting on top of it, that's what I'm going off of. I'm not gonna sit there and read it.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, the little the price thing that they had on there was for the wrong smoker.
Oh shit.
So the one that I got was more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So then, but the manager was kind of cool. He just gave it to me for that price, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have to.
but it's not worth it, dude. I'm sorry, man. It's just
Yeah, I got my grandpa would always smoke shit on his pit boss, but he also made one out of a propane tank smoker.
Yeah.
That shit was badass.
That's what we're doing at work.
Yeah.
We had an old big ass tanker, like a water tanker, like a couple 100-gallon tanker, and we cut 2 big ass doors out of it, and they ran lines to it. They made it propane, but they left the bottom open. So I think they got another tank that they're gonna weld onto it, and then use that as a smoker.
Yeah, the only thing, I mean, maybe I'm not old enough yet to get into the smoke game, dude, but those pellet stoves are a pain in the ass to work with.
I feel like
mean, the first couple of times they were okay, but if you leave pellets inside that thing and you leave that shit outside,
the
it's
hopper.
gonna cake, bro. Yeah, the hopper. It's gonna cake, and then it's gonna be a bitch to get it out.
I feel like once you get to a certain age, you gotta pick which road you're gonna go down.
Yeah.
You know, the Weather Channel, smoking meat, or like World War II and like history. You know.
Yeah, I don't know which path I'm gonna take.
Yeah.
I've been through both of them. I like the road number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's I'm telling you the flavor itself, it's way different. Like the pellet smoke, it's nice because you could
That
set
shit
it,
down
set
to
it
a
and forget
science.
it.
No, I mean you don't you just poke it.
Mm-hmm.
Like last time I did some ribs, or was it ribs? I don't know what it was. It was ribs. Anyways, I just poked it with the probe, went inside, got on my cell phone. As soon as it hit a certain temperature, it tells me go back outside, wrap them
What
up.
kind of probe do you have?
Just whatever came with the.
Oh,
I want those fancy ones, but
The Bluetooth,
dude, I just
wireless ones.
Yeah, I don't want to pay for them.
I bought one from Walmart, bro. I don't know. It's like Weber grill. I don't remember what it was. So my dumb ass. That's a funny story. How much of a fucking idiot I am. I was like, I want to try it out. So I put some chicken in an air fryer and I stuck it in there. I was just looking at it on my phone, like, oh, this is pretty cool and everything. So it hit a certain temp, whatever. I pulled it out, and my dumb ass, not thinking, bro. I was like, all right, done with the wire. went and grabbed it.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
freaking singed the shit out of my hands, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, immediately, what the fuck am I doing?
yeah.
Like, I don't know why I didn't think that metal in an air fryer would be hot.
Yeah.
But I
Was
went
there
and
alcohol
grabbed
involved?
it. I don't think so.
Dang.
I had a little dick singed on my fucking fingers for a while, dude. But yeah, dude, like a dumbass. I don't know why I did that. And
That's crazy.
stupid ass.
Shit, we still talk about your ribs. You made us some for my gender reveal. Well, my wife's gender reveal, not my gender reveal.
I
I've always,
don't remember what you. I don't know what you came out as.
yeah, always been a male. Except for when the Cowboys are playing, I get a little emotional.
Yeah.
But yeah, but all my family and her family always talk about your ribs. Like they're fighting over the last couple of racks. They're like, who's gonna take those?
Yeah, well, see, and those were. So I go about, like I said, that was in the traditional smoker, and then after that, when they're kind of done already somewhat, then I move them over to the one with the propane.
Mm.
Just because, like they say, well, I don't know how true it is. I'm not a smoking expert or barbecue expert, but they said only like a few hours matter in the smoking process. After that, you don't want to you don't want to bite a piece of meat and it tastes just like you're eating mesquite or hickory or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So you just want like a nice little smoke flavor. You don't want to get. And I've done either one. I messed up so many times where I'll eat a rib and I'm like, damn, dude, like Jesus Christ, did I put the ribs inside the smoke box and then the wood inside the smoker, or like so you got to be able to control that. So, but I think just like I said, the offset smoker is the way to go.
Yeah,
especially if you want that intense smoky flavor. And it kind of makes sense why a lot of times we're like, oh, I would never pay $18 for a brisket sandwich or this and that.
Yeah,
but you got to understand, it takes time.
Yeah,
it takes. You can't just throw a brisket in there and hope that it cooks overnight, because that guy's got to manage the fire temperature.
It's a lot of work, man, and there is an actual science to it. I mean, I know when my grandpa used to do it, bro, it was just like, all right, everybody come over at 3, and he's been smoking shit all day. You get there at 3, and he'll go out there and look at it like, nope, it's not done yet, and then wait a couple more hours, and nope, not done yet. So 8 o'clock comes around, everybody's already starting to get a little tipsy and stuff, and he'll pick up a piece of chicken, and all the meat comes off of it. Like, now it's ready. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's, like I said, it takes forever, dude.
And I know, like, most of the videos I've watched to try to learn how to smoke shit, most of them say, like, you only smoke it for, like, 30 minutes or whatever. And then you start cooking it, I guess. Like, get the smoke first.
Yeah, so like, the tricky one was brisket. Because
I've never done a brisket.
Yeah, so like when you smoke a brisket, I think a lot of people mess up is the fact that they throw it in there. You build your, like, usually I maintain a temperature of 225, 240, whatever it is. And then it gets to a point where the brisket, I think it hits like 160 internal temperature, and it stalls. Like it stalls. The temperature will stall. So you're sitting there, you go check on it, you're like, oh, I'm 160, cool. And then you add more fire. So you bring up the temperature, and then you're like, well, okay, I'm still 160. So I think that's where they kind of ruin it.
Is that when they talk about like it sweats, like the meat, like the moisture in the meat stalls out the?
No, it's because you're getting to the middle of the meat, right?
Oh, okay.
So like the heat's penetrating the meat, and then when it gets to that center, that's why they call it the stall. So it's not fully reaching the temperature it should, because usually you pull it out of maybe 190 something, then you wrap it and you throw it in your oven, or you can throw it whatever you want to throw it in. Like you can throw it, I've done it back in the smoker, wrapped it, put it back in the smoker, let it come up to 205, whatever, wrap it, throw it in a cooler, and it comes out just fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just that stall period is what I think throws a lot of people off, and after that you just burn it. Yeah. Because you think about it, you go from 225 all the way to 300 degrees.
Trying to get the internal up.
Trying to get internal temperature
So
up.
how do you get it up? You just
let it go. It just takes. That's why brisket takes so long. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're complaining about paying $18 for a brisket sandwich out of a person that knows what they're doing, maybe don't buy it. Then don't buy it.
Yeah.
Go.
That's the same thing with everything.
Go to McDonald's.
I see that shit all the time. Well, why are they gonna do this? Why? Like, you don't have to go over there. Yeah. You don't have to do that.
If you don't want to spend,
fucking go buy a burger somewhere else. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, dude.
Go to Mickey D's and buy a McRib.
Yeah.
Oh, they are bomb. Everybody gives me shit because of that. But I love the McRib. I just don't know why. Like people are like, oh, you're eating cardboard with barbecue sauce. And I'm fine with it. I'm okay with it. Like, I'll eat it.
Hell yeah, I am.
Yeah. So you're telling me you're not going to eat yours because I bought you one. Now, my wife's a big fan of that McRib too.
Oh yeah.
I'm not too fond of it. It just doesn't have the flavor I'm looking for. But I mean, if that's, I'll eat it. I don't care.
Yeah, that first couple of days,
I've put worse things in my body.
Yeah. It's one of those things, man. Like I haven't smoked. I've been wanting to, but it just takes forever because you got to put it. Like if I was to smoke one, let's say I wanted it done tomorrow by 6:00, I literally have to put it in right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it gives you that window. It's gonna take about 12-15 hours.
Yeah, I think the first thing I ever smoked was that ham I made.
That shit was good.
Shit was pretty good. Followed it's called Right Way Barbecue.
Yeah.
Shorts on YouTube. That shit was bomb, dude. The only thing I added to it that he didn't add to it was jalapenos. But damn, dude, that shit is fucking bomb.
Did you add the jalapenos the second year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I did one for the kids and then one for the adults.
Yeah.
But it's like a sweet spice, dude. It's fucking, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Fuck yeah.
But then I broke my smoker. I got the auger stuck, and then I bought a new auger. I had to take it all apart, put the new auger in, and clean everything out. And somehow in the process, it just keeps feeding now. It doesn't. There's no control to it. So I think there's a wire or something I might be missing.
Shit.
Yeah.
I gotta take it apart.
That's the only thing with technology is just doesn't matter, dude. Like I said, I have a pit boss I've used twice, and I like I said, I'd rather sit there and struggle and keep temperatures up and do all this other than like I said, it's cool, but it's just, and I gotta get out of the garage. They gotta I don't know. I just get annoyed with it. The regular offset smokers, you just clean the inside a little bit, let it come up to temp, scrape it a little bit, and you just throw your meat on there.
Yeah,
it's already seasoned in the inside, so there's nothing wrong with it.
I think that's gonna be my next step, man, is to get an offset.
I have one. I don't like offset from the Mingos, but I have one in the backyard. An offset grill. Mingos? Is that what they call it? Cardi B and Offset. You guys hear about all that? No, but I got gifted one. I was helping Ray's dad move some stuff, and I helped him out, clean some stuff out, and then he goes, "Hey man, you need a grill or a smoker?" And I go, "Well, I have a grill. I don't have a smoker." Man, he's like, "Take that one," and he gave me one of those old, I don't know what it is. It's like chef something, but it's the big black one, and it has the little thing on the side. And I tried making ribs on it, and it was a total fail. And then after that, I just used it as a grill. Just throw charcoal and some
it's
mesquite in there.
Yeah, but like everything else, you just
practice. Practice.
I've done it. I mean, I ruined. Like I said, the first brisket I ever tried smoking was I got this bright idea from I can't remember. I think it was YouTube or something. So people back then were using like a regular just a regular grill, like a gas grill. And on the back they had like a little bit of pellets or wood chips, and they had like what they call a little smoke box. So you put it in the center, and then you were with that grill, you were only using one burner. And this dude made a brisket, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's amazing! I want to try it." No, it didn't work. I wasted 14 hours of my life. 14 hours of my life.
Well, think about it this way, bro. It took you 14 hours to realize you're not going to do that again.
Ever. Ever is a dumb idea.
Yeah, it's experience.
Yeah, that's it. That's all it is.
It's definitely interesting, though, man. Definitely. Have you smoked any game meat?
Yes, I have. I have. I think last what was it, Thanksgiving? I smoked. I had saved the hind quarter from or was the front shoulder from the coos. So we smoked that along with some like.
You could just throw the whole thing on there, huh?
Yeah. So I did that. I smoked it for a while and then made kind of like barbacoa. Came out really good.
Fuck yeah.
I think it was a little peppery, but it was good. I mean, it was delicious.
I did the same thing with my elk. I made a brisket, but it was elk. And my mom's friend came over, and she was like, "Oh, this is good barbacoa," and she was eating a bunch of it. My mom was like, "Don't tell her what it is, because she's gonna freak out." And I was like, "Okay," and I didn't tell her anything. But then they started talking about it, and then she's like, "What are they talking about?" And then everyone was like, "Nothing." And then it came out, and she was like, "That's deer meat? I was like, it's elk, but yeah, it's wild game. She goes, I would have never thought. It's really good.
Yeah, that elk was really good, man.
And
Yeah,
that's the thing with elk. I mean, people like I think it's better than I think it's better than beef. I mean, just because we're growing up, you know what I mean? All you're doing is eating steak. Well, not necessarily steak, but you're eating
Some
beef.
of us grew up poor, George.
No, I'm just that's what I'm saying. Like the chuletas, it was until like
He's all steak and potatoes every night.
Steak and
lobster.
lobster.
I wish. We have frijoles and chuletas, bro. So yeah, no, but like that's what people are like. You get used to that beef flavor. Like
that's all.
Once you try elk, you're like, what is this? And then the color difference.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a big thing.
It's like even Matt, dude, Sanchez, he was like, dude, he's like my neighbor, I think it was his neighbor. He's like, gave me some elk meat, bro. That shit just tasted like too gamey. And then he went to pick up some shit from my house one day, and I was making some on the grill. I was like, here, try this piece. And then he's like, yeah, that's really good, man. What is that? I go, that's elk, bro.
Yeah.
There's a difference, and I hear this all the time where, it tasted like, it was real tough, or it's real gamey, or there's something off, like you said, people get used to the steak taste.
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of that comes from preparation.
Yeah.
If you take care of it right from the kill to the freezer, you have a better taste out of it.
Well, just like grass-fed, have you guys ever had grass-fed steaks?
Yes.
I think I did.
It tastes way different than a regular ribeye.
Yeah.
Like if you had a ribeye grass-fed and then the regular, it's too different. It tastes different. So I think with elk, I just think it's just people in general are like, oh, it tastes gamey. It's not gamey. It's just
I mean, like, well, deer, you can definitely taste the wildness of it. You know what I mean? But it all depends on how you cook it, dude. Honestly, because like you could probably give like shredded up chicken and a shredded up rabbit to somebody, and they probably won't know the difference if you cook it the same way. Like, you know what I mean?
I think the
even snake.
Yeah, one of the things that like I got my kids into it because they were like, ew, gross, but like slow cooker, like crock pot, and make it with like like the same way you make a roast beef or a pot roast, in the slow cooker, treat it the exact same way and make it that way, and it just the flavor's a little bit different, but there's no complaints, and then you can start getting into just salt and pepper on a steak, an elk steak or deer steak, and backstrap wrapped in bacon, with a little bit of butter, a little bit of garlic and you get some of your sazon.
That's good stuff. Because even javelina.
That's what I was going to say next.
Javelina is like really, really.
Yeah.
And when my little one shot one, I mean, it's just because everybody gives you like that. Oh, they smell, they taste just like they smell. And dude, one time we had I think that year I made like I think it was coos, and then from the guy I took out, he gave me some elk meat. So we had a coos meat, elk meat, a deer, that javelina, quail. We had like a spread out, I mean, even like steak, regular steak.
Yeah.
And we know with the javelina, it was a backstrap. You can't even tell.
Shit.
You couldn't tell.
It's
But we didn't marinate it.
Yeah,
we marinated for a while. So
because they say like with javelina, you gotta soak it in milk for like 24 hours to take out that. But it's not even that, man. They have a gland on their back that if you don't take that off as soon as you kill them, your meat's fucked.
Yeah,
not even like you see them roadkill, bro. The coyotes won't even touch them. The crows won't even touch them because that shit just taints everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, they say, it stinks when you cook it. Have you heard that?
Yeah, and no,
it didn't. I mean, it smelled like my wife made the one I killed. She made a piece of it there in the house. It smelled like pork chops.
Yeah,
like it literally smelled like pork chops. But my uncle gets down, bro, on javelina. Yeah, with some red chili.
Oh man,
yeah, that's what everybody usually,
bro.
Yeah,
like slow cooked with red chili, bro. That's the best, bro. It's really, really good.
Oh, I just grilled it because I never messed with it, so I just like just try it. Why not?
Yeah.
And I was, dude, it couldn't you couldn't even tell the difference between color wise and texture wise. You couldn't tell the difference between that and chicken. It looked just like chicken. And it was like little rounds. You know, sliced it up, and the slices were round. I mean, you couldn't really tell, but it looked just like a chicken breast.
Yeah.
You know what I had a lot of growing up? My dad used to work for one of the Miramontes. And he used to give him a lot of quail.
Oh yeah, quail was good.
And we had a lot of quail growing up, just because we didn't have a whole lot. But we had quail, and that shit was fucking good.
Have you ever gone quail hunting?
Never.
It's fun. Well, when you can find them, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Or dove?
Dove, no.
No?
No.
We gotta do that.
No, the only thing that I've ever hunted that was flying was squirrel. And that's expensive. I don't know. I don't know if I would do that again. We
do that with you too, shooting squirrels.
We were deer hunting.
We I had a buddy from where too. One year we got the bright idea. Let's go. I think we're chasing turkeys. Everybody had turkey tag. I can't stand turkey hunting. Anyways, that's a different story. But we're literally chasing squirrels, right? And this dude kept losing his arrow. The knock, I guess, was loose.
Yeah.
So he kept, every time he keep knocking arrow,
it would come out.
Well, you're not shooting eye level. You're kind of shooting up in the air, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what happened, but me and my other buddy were looking at him, and we literally seen this arrow come off the tree.
Oh, fuck.
And it slapped the living heck out of his horse. He was pissed. The most pissed I've ever seen this dude. Yeah, this dude's solid. I'm telling you, he's stocky. He's never seen him mad, and like that look, I was just like, okay, well, I'm not gonna get in his way because I don't want to get killed, out in the wilderness. But yeah, squirrels are, dude, they're a pain in the ass.
Yeah, this fucking guy, dude.
me and squirrels are like my mortal enemy. If I see a squirrel, I have to
kryptonite.
Yeah. That too.
Dude, but he nailed one year. Well, the same year he killed his bull.
Yeah.
He was chasing this squirrel up his damn tree, and we were down in that canyon picking up cameras, and he fucking drills one. So he's up in the tree getting his arrows back, and the whole time, dude, we're hunting out. There's a herd of elk watching us do this whole fucking.
Bro, I'm like fucking Tarzan from the Jungle Book climbing this fucking tree.
Yeah.
And making like fucking all the noise in the fucking world. Because I fucking heart shotted the squirrel, dude. Like, and then the squirrel, like the most dramatic death, they like gripped my arrow with his little hands.
Yeah.
And it was like holding on for dear life. And then whenever he faded, his little paws, like one finger at a time, started coming off the arrow. And then his hands went down to his waist, and then he just slid down my arrow. And we're laughing, dude. We're like, fuck yeah. And I'm holding the little squirrel, like, yeah, got it. And then go up this tree, fucking breaking branches and trying to get my arrow, which my arrow was fine. Got my arrow, and then I get about halfway down the tree, and I jump down, make a shitload of noise, boom. And then Josh is fucking looking at me, and then I just happen to look to my left, and there's a fucking herd of elk, like 20 yards from us, dude. Just like, what the fuck are these guys doing? And then it was game on. Like, oh shit.
Have you guys noticed that though? That whenever like, that's why you can't take it too serious, because when you're too serious, I think you just take like the fun out of it. Mm-hmm. And when you're like kind of being like you're being mentals and you're out there just like
having fun,
enjoying it, just like, hey, we see something. If we don't, not like all like locked in and like, oh, we're gonna. I think it always happens like that. It's always happened with us. Like we'll see something like, hey, well, we'll be doing some.
Yeah, you can be glassing like grid. Like, I'm gonna grass this grid. I'm gonna start high and then scan right and then drop down 2 inches and then scan left and then drop down. And you can be doing that for hours. And then you leave that spot and you're walking and then something catches your eye. You look over and there's a fucking deer.
Yeah,
you're like, oh shit. There it is.
Yeah, I think if you, I mean, it's good to be serious about it, right? And do the practice shit and everything. But I think it's like, if you focus too hard on what you think what you're looking for, you overlook the obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, like when my son's deer, man, I mean, I was obviously looking for deer, but I wasn't just looking for deer. I was looking for movement. You know what I mean? So I saw an ear flicker and I was like, all right, there's something over there. So we just go check it out. And a lot of times that's what gets them caught. You know, you'll be glassing or whatever, and then they flick their ear for whatever reason, and then you can kind of zoom in on them, like, okay, there's something there. Then you find everything else around it and stuff. But yeah, I think there's been quite a few times, man, where we're just dicking around and stuff, and like, oh fuck, they're just sitting there watching you, like, look at these fucking idiots.
Yeah. That was that squirrel, and then the fucking years later, we're up there by Sheep's Corral, and we had gone up there looking for a deer. These guys have seen a bear a couple of days before, so we're kind of keeping an eye out. And then headed back to camp. I'm like, squirrel. You know? And I'm like, all right, game on. Knock an arrow. I fucking fling one at this fucking.
Did you see that fucker disappear into the horizon, dude?
Yeah. And that fucker just jumps to the next branch. And
There
I'm
goes
like, all
$30.
one more arrow.
Well, you remember when we went in our elk hunt, right, in 2018?
Yeah.
So I think it was, well, they got there. It was it started on a Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this guy's they got to camp like late in the morning. Dude, it was like 2:00 in the morning, and it was me and the two other guys.
Dude, it was like 3 in the morning.
Oh yeah, we're asleep already.
Yeah.
And anyways, that morning we went. We didn't know the area, right? And so we go. We had a deer tag. That was I think that was last year where you can you can hunt deer in the same unit. You can either do September, and if you don't kill nothing, you go January.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, we went down this, it was midday, and we were just I'm driving. This guy's asleep, and
Typical.
yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm just driving down this trail, right? And I'm like, I see some deer, and this dude's knocked out, and I tap him on the shoulder, and I'm like, he's like, what? And I was like, dude, some deer. And I never Rambo status. I don't. He even shot from his knee. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting
It's
there,
more
they're
dramatic.
I
think the craziest part is that you woke me up, and then I'm like, stay in the UTV.
Yeah.
I got this. He saw him, woke me up, and then I tell him, stay back. I got this. And then I jump out, and I'm like full Rambo.
It's I don't know what I couldn't tell you. It's instinct, bro. I did the same thing to my little cousin, bro. And I was thinking back, I was like, what a dick, bro.
Yeah, that was me.
I was
let
like, him shoot. It was on his side.
Yeah.
I'm
George
like,
could have just been like, put it in park, and this fucker's asleep, so I'm gonna jump out and smoke a deer real quick.
Nah, I didn't. I didn't care.
This
Honestly.
fucker's the worst fucking co-pilot, though, dude. He's the worst.
Fuck yeah. Are we there yet? Wake
Yeah.
up. I'm like,
Dude, we were driving through Cucros, right? And we were just down out the area for elk and stuff. And that's where the first scratches on my truck came from, bro. Went down this shitty ass road and stuff, and this fucker just bobbing with his mouth open all over the place.
Yeah.
And then we make it all the way to the way back, and he's like, "Where are we at?" Like, "Damn, dude, you missed like 2 hours of travel.
yeah.
This fucker just out.
Airplane
Is
mode.
your neck sore?
Like the kids.
Yeah, it's called
Yeah.
airplane
Yeah.
mode. You
This
know,
fucker
is
was all the way out, dude. Like, he had
Yeah.
no clue where we were at or anything. He was just like, damn, dude. I mean, that's
I think that was like my first year of archery. It was like that, and the guys would make fun of me because, we would go like way into Mexico, like 4 or 5 hour drives, and I would sleep the whole way, and then we would just get there, and then I'd jump out. We'd go shoot the course, and then jump back in, fall asleep, get back home. And then that year is when I killed my elk, and they're like, "What happened? You take a nap, woke up, there's an elk there, you shoot it?" So something like that.
Yeah.
But I've done that too.
Yeah.
I've got with my buddies from work, and you're sitting back of the truck, dude, and I don't know what it is, man. You're just too comfortable, too relaxed, and you're just I think you just.
I think what it is, I mean, at least for me, you get so run down with the 9 to 5, the up and down work, and the wife and the kids and the house and all this stuff, and then whenever you get out into nature, it's just like a whole
it's
new
the vibe,
feeling.
the ambiance of it all.
It's like a release. You're like, wow.
Yeah,
It's even you have to feel like if you're not doing something, you'll crash.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not driving, if you're not walking, if you're just sitting there and it's just you're
Yeah.
watching a tree after tree after tree, it's not.
Yeah, there's nothing. You're in in the middle of at the
Mhm.
bottom of the mountains.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? There's because when was it? One time we bought some over the counter tags there for Arizona. I think the last year they did the over the counter. Now it's you get first come first serve.
Mhm.
And one of the times I loaded my truck and I don't remember if it was December or January. But anyways, right after graveyard, I headed down there, right? I hauled ass and I hunted the whole day, and I was gonna be up there 3 days by myself. And the same thing happened to me in the I got there and then I put a stock on a few bucks. They were decent size, but it's just so open, dude. And they bust you, and then before you know, they're gone.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I remember getting back to my truck, and I told myself, I was like, you know what? Because I closed the gate, I crossed the gate, closed the gate, got in my truck, And I just told myself, I'm gonna take like a little power nap just to get. It was already kind of like late, and dude, I ended up passing out till the next day. The next day, right?
Truck on and everything?
No, the truck wasn't on. It was, when you go hunting, like I'm usually pretty, I got some jackets, I got some good insulation, whatever. And so I passed out, and then I see my phone, and my wife's texting me. My parents are calling because you can see, but for whatever reason, I wasn't able to send out messages or calls. So the next day, like sun was coming out already. So I know this spot where you get good signal. So on my way up there, I'm hauling ass, not even thinking about it. And that's when I missed that buck that I told you guys about 90. Like I was just locked in. I was like, I'm just gonna drive whatever. Then I'll just hunt in the morning, hunt later, whatever. So as I'm hauling ass up there, at the corner of my eye, I see some doe, and I'm like, well, it was, as a matter of fact, it was January, because that's when like they were in the rut, and they were running hard, and I seen them, and then I parked my truck, and I'm like, then I went after them, but it was funny because like I was so tired that I just ended up passing out, and this is from 5. It was like 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. I was just tired because I chased the deer, just got off a graveyard, and then I was just tired, and it was towards the end of the day, and I think I drank a Monster.
That was your breakfast?
Yeah, that was my dinner.
Yeah. You drank a Monster and passed out.
Yeah. So I think that's what it was.
Yeah. What's crazy out there that, like, I know I always don't realize this, but the amount of adrenaline that you go through in a day, like when you're on a stalk and you go to this, you go hard for an hour or two, even if you're just, there, but you see an animal and it's coming in, and you're just like all your senses get heightened, and you're like, you can hear like the little twigs break, and you're focused on them coming in, and then whatever happens, they don't come close enough, or you don't get the shot off, and then it's just like a dump, like you're just like flushes your system, and then you're just kind of like, all right, and then you do that a couple of times in a day. By the time you get back to camp, you're fucking beat.
Yeah,
dude, it sucks, man. I think that's that's a disappointment of a hunting, right? I think a lot of us, I'm pretty sure 99% of the people that hunt will be like, oh, well, you got to manifest it in a sense where you're going to tell yourself, I'm going to kill. Because if you doubt yourself, then you're going to be out there. You're going to be 3 miles in. I think we, in 2022 when I hunted the elk, I think we did 60 miles the whole 10 days. That's walking. It wasn't, it doesn't seem like a whole lot to people, but when you look at the terrain, it's
up and down hills, up and down ridges.
That's a lot of miles, dude.
Man. Yeah, it's rough. Even 1 mile through rough ass terrain is a lot, on your feet and your back and everything. And it's not just carrying your bow up there; it's carrying a pack and everything in the pack.
And then the water.
The water.
Like that's
you wouldn't think too, like 3-4 water bottles, it's not that much weight, but carry that motherfucker for 5 miles. You're like, I'm gonna drink this shit right now just to get this off my back.
Dude,
it changes, dude.
It gets nasty, because there was a point too where I was just I would get a water bottle or two and squeeze the air out and just stuff like on my pants, like in my pockets or whatever, and just walk out there because I couldn't do the pack. Because for whatever reason the pack I was carrying was a little squeaky. So I was just like. But you it's tiring. It is like you're saying, it is tiring carrying
extra weight.
I mean, it's. I think I work way more in the mountains than I do at my actual job, man. And it's the passion for it. It doesn't ever feel like work. But there is some days where I open up that truck door, or I'll even just pull up to a spot and just look at the mountain like, I really don't want to fucking do this right now. But mama didn't raise no bitch, so I got to get out of the truck and get up there.
And that's like about me. Like for me, it's like the middle of the hunt.
Yeah.
Like the first day you can't sleep at night, or opening day you can't sleep at night because you're so excited to go. And then you get there, and then like I feel like the first day you just exhaust yourself.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, I still got 4 days, or you still got 9 days, or whatever it is. So you got to kind of like pace yourself, and like that's what I started learning nowadays. Like I have a buddy of mine that always taught me that. Don't walk anywhere if you don't need to. Just find yourself a high point and glass. Because like a lot of times where you're like, you walk and you go nowhere, you see nothing. I mean, even if you think it's a good area on Onyx and you get up there and it's like, what the hell did I just walk? You can't see nothing. It's so brushy.
Yeah.
So the last few hunts, what I've been doing is just find a good spot to hike and just sit there.
Mm-hmm.
Sit there for 2-3 hours and see what you see. I mean, there's gonna be movement no matter what.
Yeah.
That's some good advice.
In the area that we hunt, man, we kind of know where the deer are going to be and stuff and where to look and stuff. So when we get to those certain points, like you said, I mean, I don't think I've ever been out there one whole day and not see nothing. Something pops up.
Yeah, now it's just, I think for, at least for me now in the same area that Josh goes to, it's more about the pattern, because we kind of know where they're going to be. But it's at what time are they going to be there? At what time are they not going to be there? And if they're not here, then are they going to be over there? And just kind of trying to figure that out, you know, because it seems like it's been getting hotter. It seems like that's been messing with them. I know for the last couple of years for the rut, from what I'm hearing, is they're not bugling as much till super late.
It's really, really tough. Like I've gone on some hunts and I think, what was it? I've taken about 5 people out, and I think all of them, except for Adeline, couldn't find Adeline and elk, but it was just rough. And then Larry's son last year, the year before that, he had a muzzleloader hunt, and it was just Unit 15.
Yeah,
I don't like that side, like usually the Luna side. I don't like that side. It's really, really tough for me. But I couldn't get him an elk. But my buddy, I have a buddy at work that I took him out, 2 of them that I took out. And then the uncle too, Cloudcroft. So,
fuck yeah.
But other than that, like I say, you got to be patient and then.
Yeah, I think that's been the main thing now. I always go back to 2018. I'm like, man, if we could go back there knowing what we know now, would the outcome have been different? You know, because we had 2 or 3 very close encounters. You know, that one in the brush, the one across the road when we got there, and there was like a whole herd coming across that road, and then the one where we were up on top.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just like, man, like.
Well, and it's weird, dude, because like 2018 was a learning curve for me, right? Like never hunted, barely started hunting, whatever. And so when I got my second tag in 2022, it was like, all right, well, I'm set. I'm ready. I know what I'm going to do. And I probably had, like, it was so cool because I probably had, like, there was, in that hill that I went, hiked up by myself, I went early in the morning. I just, like, sprinkled. I went up there and I could see the steam, like, from the bulls early in the morning, right? And I was probably, I'm going to say about between 6 or 8 feet away from them. But it was so thick up there that I couldn't. Yeah. I had a little window one time, but I tried it, and once I like tried looking down my side, I couldn't see nothing because the brush was so thick up there. But yeah, dude, it's a learning curve. You know what I mean? You go out there, and it's like, and that's like we're saying. 2018 was like, oh, you know, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Yeah. And like I said, 2022, I'll go back hunt and elk, and even it was the last day before the hunt. We've been on this bull. I've been chasing this big bull, and I was just like, I know it's not gonna happen. The chances of me getting this big bull are pretty slim. But second day before the last day, which is, I think it was a Friday. So last day was a Saturday. We're on top of this one hill, and it's a trail going through there. So we're just glassing, and I tell my buddy, I was like, hey, dude, there's some elk right there. I was like, you want to go? And he's already walked 60 miles. Like it's we've been there 9 days already. He's exhausted. I'm exhausted. And I don't give up. So I told him, he's like, screw it, dude. I was like, drop me off. I got an Onyx. I was like, drop me off right here, and then like pick me up about an hour and a half. And for whatever reason, he had this scent blocker from High Desert. And I was like, well, that's when I did the 2 bottles. And he like soaked me in that stuff, dude. Yeah. Well, I was able to get in the herd. And it was funny too, because as I'm walking, I could see, I already made up my mind. I was like, I'm just going to shoot a cow. Like, I'm not going to go home empty handed. It's already 9 days. I got one more day to go. And as I'm getting there, I see this bull feeding. He's about 70 yards. So then like I see him, and there's like this brush in front of me where I'm at. And then there's another tree. Well, there's a gap between those two. It's about 5 feet or so. But there's cows on my right side feeding, and they're kind of feeding down. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, do I risk the chance of, hopping from this where I'm at to the other tree and try to get that bull. So there was an opening underneath that tree. So as I go under it, and mind you this, I'm on one knee, and I have my rangefinder on my right hand, and as I'm ranging this bull, he locked on me bad. And you know how when they lock on you, their ears go up, whatever, and he's just doing this little thing that he does, and I'm like, and he starts kind of like barking, and he's stomping and barking, and it's kind of getting closer to me, and I'm like, damn, dude, like,
you're fucking busted.
I'm busted. I didn't have my gun. I had nothing. I'm like this. But then I could see the cows to my right, and they're feeding down, and I'm like, they're less than 50 yards. And so I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? I don't want to get busted. If this bull takes off, he's probably going to take the rest of the cows. And then, well, I don't know what happened with that bull. He's just like, he probably from where he was about 70, and where he moved about 10 yards. So he was about 60. And after that, he just took off. Well, the cows were to my right, and I ranged one at 43. And I was like, you know what? Pick the biggest cow I can find. The only thing where I messed up was there was the cow that I shot. There was a cow behind her, and I kind of went middle shot. I shouldn't have. I don't know why. But anyway, I stuck the cow, passed through. I thought she was dead or whatever. So then I run back to the trail, right, where my buddy was. And I told him, hey, dude, I just shot a cow, bro. I was like, we got to go find it. And we found blood, right?
Yeah.
And I even called my buddy from work, and I was like, hey, bro, I just shot a cow. He's just like, what do you think about the blood? He's like, let me see. So I FaceTime him. He's like, dude, that's good blood. Yeah. So as we're looking for this cow, dude, the thunder started. Lightning. And then it started raining. And after that, we were finding blood. I mean, the trail of blood was good. I mean, I'm from what I read is any herd animals, they're not going to go uphill. They're always going to go. I don't.
That's a 50-50, man.
That's what I read. So I was thinking, there's no way. And then I mean, obviously we weren't up the mountain. We were kind of in the at the base, and it wasn't steep or nothing. So I was like, so we just let it go. And then the last day was crazy because the last day we got into the herd, and that day was the craziest day. I mean, we don't know where to shoot.
Shit.
We hiked them, and we knew where they were, but just to get to them was kind of tough. And I told my buddy, hey, dude, let's just go in there. Like, because they're feeding up, and then we'll catch them at the bottom, and then we'll see if we can make it. And dude, it was just it was crazy. The craziest, I mean, there weren't huge bulls. There weren't because they weren't. But you could have tagged out. But it was just crazy, dude. Like, it was.
Yeah, I think that's what's been the hardest part for me with deer is I've gotten into a couple of situations where I'm fucking in there, and it's just like, what the fuck do I do? Like, you can't.
I put this fucker on a fucking giant.
Yeah, dude, and it's just like I'm there, and there's does all around you, and you got maybe one or two big bucks in there, but you can't move to get a shot because they're gonna bust you.
No, you're pinned down.
You're pinned down, and it's just like, man, and that's, I think where I'm lacking right now is my patience. So I just get so impatient, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna try to crawl fucking 10 feet this way or 10 feet that way when I should just sit my ass down and wait.
I could agree with that, dude, because but on the other hand, dude, where I think you should be patient and you start moving anyways, you've been closer than I've been in a lot of situations. Yeah. Because you're not waiting for shit to happen. You're going and making it happen. You know what I mean? So like, well, in a situation where I'm like, I'm going to see what these deer do. And I turn around and fucking Hada's going. And it's like, okay, well, let's see how this unfolds. And he gets fucking super close.
Yeah. And that was the last one that you put me on where we're driving
after. Yeah. So we were driving. I spotted a nice buck out. I don't know. He's probably like 150, 160. He was coming down. I told him there's a nice buck coming down, bro. So we pulled off, and we got out. We started making the stock. I left my shit in the truck, and it was just all him, bro. I was like, I'm a spot for you. Sneaked in, and he got super fucking close, but he got greedy.
Yeah. So we get to this little like valley, and there's this high wall, like rock wall, and they're in there, and it was two does and a buck, and we're sitting there waiting and see if they come closer to us, and I see a tree. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna make my way to that tree, and it's rock, so there's no real
It
soft.
couldn't have been more.
Dude, it was perfect, dude.
No grass, nothing to crunch, and it's all rock.
Yeah, like it was almost like a concrete pad, dude.
Yeah.
So I just fucking jumped out there and hauled ass to this fucking tree, and I get behind that tree, and I ranged the buck, and he was probably like 50. So I dial my sight to 50, and then I get behind this tree, and I'm like, this fucker turns broadside. I got him. And so sure as shit, man, he comes out, gives me a fucking broadside shot. I get behind the tree, I draw back, come around the tree, and the second I come around the tree, there's this fucking giant, dude, right behind him. And from my point of view, it looks like they're standing next to each other. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm taking the big one. So I fucking put my sights on the big one, and he gives me a fucking broadside shot, and I take it. He was standing probably like 20 feet behind him, but from my field of view, it looked like they're standing next to each other. They're
Oh yeah.
They're not. And I fucking shot right under him, boom, and they both take off. And from his point of view, it looks like I'm aiming at. I'm like,
I never saw the second one, man. From where I was standing, where I was sitting at that tree, I was watching the whole thing go down. I was like, all right, here it goes, because that buck's standing broadside, and I saw him draw his bow back. And I'm watching that buck, dude. I had him on the binos, and I'm looking at him, and then they take off, and this big fucking dark ass chocolate antler, heavy gray mule deer comes bouncing out, bro. Like, what the fuck? Like, where was he at? Yeah. And then he just sitting there. I don't know. I don't think I remember you knocking another arrow, bro, because that buck came out and like pounced and turned around and looked at him like, really? Yeah. Just walked over the hill.
Yeah, dude. I'm just looking at my sight like, what the fuck happened? But yeah, it was, and it's so crazy because, man, and that's happened, a couple of times where, like I should have settled for what I have in front.
Well, live and learn, right?
Yeah.
We always tell ourselves that, but we never.
I think that's one of the hardest things to be conscious about and stick to, bro. It's like, I'm just gonna shoot the first fucking legal buck I see, or not taking any. I'm gonna exhaust any chance I get.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pass anything up, whatever, because the chances don't come easy whenever you're bow hunting. I mean, you get greedy and you go home empty-handed.
Well, the thing is, so it depends on the unit, right? Because I've been in some units where I've told myself, and I've seen them. Mm-hmm. So there was like, there's no. If I see that forky for open, I'm not shooting them. There's no way. Yeah. I'll wait towards the end of the days, but But
at what point, depending on the unit, at what point are you not passing up that forky? Where it's like, you know what, I should have shot that one because I haven't seen shit in 3 days. I saw that one. It was a nice forky, and it wasn't very big, but he wasn't very small either.
So, to me, it would be like, if I've already been hunting, like it just depends. Like if I'm annoyed already, like I'm just gonna like, because I've been in that situation, right, where I'm like, I'm not gonna shoot this, and there's no way I'm shooting that. And I don't know, maybe like the 10th. Well, they just depend. Long story short, there was a while back, 2021, 22. I had a January hunt in one of the units by Lake Roberts, right? Mm-hmm. And dude, I was using the bathroom. Let's just say I was using the bathroom, and out of the corner of my eye, I see this 8-point. He was decent.
You're putting up like the poster. You're taking a dump.
Yeah,
your rifle, exactly. Your rifle's on the next tree.
No, it was funny that what happened to me. That I'm with my buddy, right, and we're like, hey, let's just take a break, whatever. I'm tired of driving, or whatever. So we pull over, and I'm just minding my own business, trying to use the bathroom, and out of the corner of my eye, I see a doe, and in the back you can see that buck, and I was like, oh my god. So there I am, dude, running. I almost killed myself. I almost ran into my bumper because I was running so hard, you know what I mean, and like trying to stop myself.
Pants down,
but that was that was probably what, like, I've already been hunting like 5-6 days already.
Yeah, okay.
But he was a decent buck, and I passed up on some little tiny ones, but it was a unit. I don't want to say the unit because We
No.
probably shouldn't be saying units,
No.
but it was a good unit. It's
You can
it's
tell
either
me
or.
later.
It's either or. You can shoot either one.
Okay.
And dude, it was I passed up on some little. I probably could have tagged out the first day, but me knowing the bucks that I've seen, and last year I went in the same unit. The same guy that I was with, he happened to draw that tag, and same thing, dude. He missed. Which it was in a good shot. It was a hard shot. It was like 90-yard each shot.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a 5 point, I guess you can call it, 3 on one side, 2 on the other. He was huge, man. He was so wide. He had to be over 20 inches. He was huge, dude.
Those forest bucks are different, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like
different.
you can't compare. Like when you do a September hunt, right? You can't do a September hunt. You can't compare that to a rifle hunt, and you can't compare the rifle hunts to January hunts when they're in the rut. Because if you've ever been in the rut, there's no comparison. I mean,
It's almost like it's a different animal.
Yeah.
well, it is, because you think about it like this. I've been on numerous hunts in November for deer, and you see the deer, and they're like by them. Some are by themselves, and the smaller bucks, they'll have a doe or two. But the big bucks themselves, they're not. They're like they're batching, with each other, whatever. And you go in January, all you got to do is find a doe.
Yeah.
Find a doe, and then you will find a buck.
Yep. That's very true. Very true.
But like I said, to me, I'm gonna wait. Like if I know it's a good unit and I've been there and I know the unit and I know there's big bucks in there, I'm gonna wait. I'm not just gonna shoot whatever. Like the one coming up that I have in January.
January, and what unit was that?
I can't tell you, but you've been there. You've been there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I just feel like I need to get that archery kill because I've been on so many. Like not so many. I feel like I've been on so many. And you know what sucks too, man? Like what pisses me off is that I'm getting older, and it seems to me like every 4 years I get an elk tag. Like I've helped people
every 4 years.
I help people for like feel their tags, and I've taken people and I put the time and I put the effort, and I'm like, man, and I'm like,
you think about that though, man, for a second. 2018 is when you started?
Yes, 2018.
Okay. 2018. And we're 2025 now. So 7 years. And you went from not having any knowledge to taking people out and filling tags.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a big jump.
Huge jump, dude.
No, it is, dude.
That's success in that. I haven't had an elk tag. Well, we went together. That was my first elk tag. I've been elk hunting with my brother and stuff. But
my first one too.
Yeah, this fucker's first time. He goes and kills a 6x6. That was the smaller of the two bulls that we were after. But so he had that out. We had that out tag, and then the following year I drew that same tag, but I came across a giant. I knew that if I killed him where he was, it was gonna be a pain in the ass getting him out, and so I didn't even attempt to go after him. And that was the last elk tag that I got. I haven't drawn out.
That was the same
2018.
Yeah, so 2018 was my last elk tag.
Yeah,
and that was that same thing that you just said was a lot of what Chris was saying when we were up in 15, and because he wasn't hunting, he was taking somebody.
No, he was guiding.
He was guiding.
Yeah,
and I guess they had a shot at one, and he told them don't shoot that because we're not gonna be able to get him out. So there is some wisdom to that, because I mean, if you're gonna put yourself in a situation where you can, put yourself in a bad spot or maybe not recover at all, it's not worth it.
So my thing was I was with my dad, and he's not in the best health, anymore, like he was in his younger years and stuff. I didn't want to put him through that. You know what I mean? So best case scenario, go after that bull. He was with 2 cows. Best case scenario, get him and he goes straight down that canyon and dies down there. Then it's easier, just quarter him out and pack him straight down the canyon. There's a road down there. Worst case scenario, he goes over the top and disappears into no man's land. And I wasn't in the shape that I am in now to be able to put in that kind of work. You know what I mean? Which, saying that, it sounds like I shouldn't have been hunting. You know what I mean? For an animal that big with a little bit of help. Of course, you guys know that. Yeah. No, it's help is a phone call away. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I was fortunate enough to actually see bulls in a unit that everybody told us to stay out of because there wasn't shit there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like whenever you kill deers, you know, everybody and their dog, man, told us to stay out of that unit. There's nothing there. You're not gonna see nothing. And we were in elk every damn day.
Mm-hmm.
And I hunted that same area the following year and saw elk in there again.
That's it.
No, it's just that's a tough unit though.
It is, man.
It is.
It's really, really tough. Like
and I think, do you know what unit we're talking about?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you were thinking we're on the other side of the road there.
No, you guys, if you go
It's,
on the left side.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's definitely tough. And yeah, man. I mean, we saw everything. We saw a turkey. He saw a bear. I never saw the bear. All I saw was this dude trying to get in my lap.
That shit was crazy. I was like, oh, you know, it's
what the fuck's wrong with you? Did you sit on an ant pile or what?
It's so crazy because like you know, it's crazy because I didn't get into hunting till like later on in life, but like my late 20s, and I was acting like an 8-year-old, man. Like I was excited. Every little thing I saw out there, I was like, oh, check this out. Oh, look at that. You know, it's like a little kid at Disneyland, like pointing out lights and shit.
I think from the outside world, you know what I mean? You get into it and it's like I think what kills it sometimes hunting is it's social media.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have YouTube and then you see everybody 20-minute video and but it sucks, man. Like
yeah, I think like
it's the highlights.
yes, that's exactly what I was going with it because when you're watching these professional hunters, you know, it's like, oh, success after success after success, and it's like, man, show the fails, bro.
Yeah.
Why not?
Be real
like,
about it.
Yeah, like my boys, dude, Brian Sillison, Jeff Sillison, like they don't kill every hunt. You know, they try and they show their fails or they show a miss and stuff. And it's like, hey, we didn't fill the tag this time. This is hunting. You know, it's not success. It's not a harvest every time. Successful hunts, I think if you're doing it right, you'll have a successful hunt no matter what. But harvesting is not always a given.
Yeah, it's how you measure the success.
Yeah,
like,
but to like different states, right? Like, you know, there's different states where you'll guarantee the tag next year.
Yeah.
Like I think for us it's different because I think as hunters, right? We put too much pressure on ourselves. So we're trying, like, you gotta face the facts, like you need to kill. And that's what everybody goes through. Every time I get a tag, I'm like, I need to kill something because I want that. I want to provide. I want some of that wild game meat. And if it wasn't like, if I got an elk tag every year, I don't be like, whatever. You know what I mean? I missed this pool, whatever. Then I won't.
Yeah.
But
it's almost like hitting the fucking lottery now. What it feels like.
It's bad, bro.
You know?
It's bad.
But it goes back to it goes back to like how you measure success. Because if you measure success by just killing an animal, then, you know, not all of us are successful.
You're missing the point.
Yeah. But like George was saying earlier, like, you know, taking this kid out and spending that quality time out there, taking other people out, and that those weren't your hunts, but to you those were successful because
dude.
You know,
I mean,
like the gratification of taking somebody out there and putting that smile on their face, and, you know,
just being a part of somebody else's success, dude.
It's something that you can't duplicate. It's gonna stay with that person forever.
And that's why I do, like, whenever we're hunting together, it's like, all right, I'm gonna put my shit away. I'm gonna take a step back and stuff, and I'm gonna let this guy do what you know, let him learn, and I'll sit there and watch it. You know, how you move, because I mean, the way you move, dude, honestly, it's cat-like. You know what I mean? And I think that's where you want to be, very light-footed. You know, low to the ground.
Didn't used to be that way.
Yeah. Other times kicking your ass.
No,
but yeah, it's like even with Billy, when I took Billy out, you know, we're stalking this deer, and he goes, Josh. I was like, what's up, man? He's like, I forgot my release. I was like, cool, man. I was like, I can take my release off, and like, here you go, dude. Use this. I'll shoot fingers if I have to, but now I'm not worried about messing shit up. Like, you go ahead, I'll be your guide. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things, like, I don't want to fuck it up for somebody else. I've been hunting for a long time, and I've gotten 2 kills with a bow. The January was my second one, but I would rather see somebody go out there and give it their all, and just to watch it all go down, man. Even if I see like just a stranger on the mountain going after a deer, I'll sit there and watch them and see what happens.
Dude, that happened.
It's exciting.
That happened to me in this last rifle hunt when I went with Billy. I watched a father and son kill a deer,
Mhm.
and it was like just like from afar, and I took pictures,
Yeah.
you know, and I had a cool picture of the dad and the son, you know, walking with the the head on the backpack. And we ended up stopping him and seeing him, and I told him, I'm like, hey man, I got this picture. He's like, no way, let me see it. And I showed it to him, send it to me, you know, and they were all excited about it. And
That's
it's
dude.
pretty cool.
I mean,
You know, and I think that's one thing that, you know, we keep touching back on, like archery and hunting. It's such an experience, and it's such a like a way of life, and it's so gratifying. Like even when you don't kill, you know, it's frustrating as all hell when you don't, and it's, you know, everything can go wrong, but you know, coming back with those memories and that story, or like I fucking left my rangefinder on this fucking rock, or I dropped my release.
I lost the release too.
You know?
And see, that's those things, man. Like, I travel around a lot, right? Different towns and stuff, and then, you know, meet different people and stuff. But when you hear a story from a stranger and you see their face light up and they're telling this story like it just happened yesterday, that's the best, dude.
It is.
You know, and it's like you telling your story about the elk and stuff, and your chase and stuff, and it's like you're reliving that moment for yourself, but you can see how excited you are about it and stuff, and it's just amazing. Even like old cats, dude, telling stories from like freaking 40s and stuff when they used to pile deer up. You know, it's like, oh yeah, you know, my dad used to take me out and do this, and you know, there was this one time, you know, like for my grandpa, you know, the Cudamandis chased my uncle up a tree, or javelinas chased my uncle around the tree, or there was one time my uncle, he was gonna stab a deer, and the deer got up, so they were going around the tree he was trying to stab him, and the deer was trying to get him. So it's stories like that, dude, and you know, not only are you envisioning everything that's happening and stuff, but hearing the laughter that comes behind it and stuff, like they're cracking up, like it just happened.
And I think that's what's missing nowadays, because those are the stories and those are the kind of moments that you could share with, you know, a complete stranger or even family. But now it's getting diluted by like social media, you know, because you're just seeing highlights of all this stuff, and it's great, you know, to have that documentation. I would love to film some of my hunts and some of my failures and, you know, some of my experiences, but it's almost to a point where it's like it's just like a death scroll of social media stuff and hunting and all this stuff, and it kind of takes away from it, you know, a little bit.
That's hard to do though. Like you think about it to film a hunt.
It is, man.
It would be, yeah.
It is, especially if you're solo and stuff. There's a lot to it. I've tried. I've had story times. I call them story times because it's just me talking to the damn phone, basically. And hey, this is what happened. This is what I saw. This is how I fucked it all up, and it's real.
Yeah,
you know. But it's those stories, bro, where it's like you don't see it on social media where you're this fucker stalking. Like for example, I was stalking a deer one time, and I'm trying to be quiet, and I step on a loose rock and I fall on my ass, bro. Fucking deer takes off running. It's like, it's so damn stupid. But it's like, that's the real part of hunting.
Yeah.
Like, it's not fucking sunshine and rainbows.
It's not like, hey, when you put this together for my podcast or for my channel, can you edit that part out where I look like an idiot, you know, on my ass?
The old school, like, I had never seen it with hunting videos, to my knowledge, that I can remember anyways. But like, fishing videos, bro, like Bill Dance hitting his shin on the damn pitch all the time, you know,
dude, or
falling off the boat,
or
like,
fucking
it's
putting the trailer in the water, or breaking his fucking fishing poles with the fucking
tailgate.
The tailgate.
Yeah, dude, that shit's real, bro. That's shit that actually happens out there. And yeah, he's mad at the time, but it's freaking pure comedy gold, dude.
Not only that, but it adds to the story, like the. You know, I left my release in the truck, or I didn't have this, or I didn't have that. And it's just like, it adds to it.
Or even just pranking your buddy, you know, putting the freaking bologna things inside a sandwich. Yeah. I mean, stupid shit.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that's what's missing, dude. That's what, you know, there's a lot more love to the outdoor world than just killing shit.
Well, it's gotta, I think it, from our perspective, right? Like low budget. Well, it's not low budget, right? Because I mean, we have pretty expensive equipment. Like we have stuff that but like kind of like not so much like from somebody known, but like from the other side.
Yeah,
that's why I get into videos like the guys that only have, not even
a couple hundred viewers.
Yeah, maybe like it's got 1,000 views.
Uh-huh.
I've been watching a lot of guys from New Mexico hunting, like in the January hunts. You know what I mean? From like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and it's entertaining.
Yeah,
because it's just your average Joe. Like he has a 9 to 5, gets up, maybe hunts the weekend, maybe he doesn't. But it's like it's not like, oh well, we're out here. You know what I mean? They have a big old Because when we go camping. When we're hunting, I think when we're in 2022 was awesome. Dude, we had the toy hauler, which was the best purchase ever. You know what I mean? Because you had access to a bath every day if you wanted to. You had especially midday, it's so hot. You had the AC. You had something to charge your phones. We had a full house pretty much.
Yeah,
but it's still your average hunter. It's not. Yeah. We don't have like 20 trailers on our camper, which this year I'm kind of looking forward to because I have we have a big elk hunt coming up in September. I'm gonna go with my buddy. So
if you need a camp cook or cleanup or whatever, I'll volunteer my services.
Right.
If you need anybody. No, but I wanted to touch a little bit. I wanted to kind of shift gears and talk a little bit about this Reconciliation Act that's coming through to Congress with the sale of public land, and talking a little bit about that. It's crazy to even have that get taken off of a bill and then getting it snuck back in. And there's 11 states that are involved. Ours is included.
Yep.
And it's the sale of hundreds of thousands of acres of BLM land, public land that we use, that we've made memories on. Not only are we going to have to compete with, the typical wildfires and mismanagement from the state, but now we're going to have to compete with, private investors trying to buy this stuff off to, mine or log or just have it for themselves because they're framing this as we're gonna help the housing crisis.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
But it's not gonna help it. I mean, we all drive past abandoned fucking houses all the time, or houses for sale all the time. The issue isn't, no housing. It's affordable housing, and that land is gonna get developed. It's not gonna sell to the average Joe. It's not gonna sell.
If you think about it, it's gonna be in the middle of the wilderness.
Yeah.
Who your average Joe is not gonna be like, oh yeah, you know what, I'm not.
And it's not gonna go to a single,
it's gonna go to some fucking company. Joe Blow that fucking has 10, 15 houses.
Ted Turner or whoever. But it's they're not gonna buy a couple of acres. They're gonna buy 100, 200, 300
think about
acres.
it, man. An hour from here, we have the Members Valley. A fucking house goes up for sale over there, and it's a double wide house, kind of run down, $200,000-something.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like
this is an outfitter's dream. Yeah. This bill passing and that land going up for sale, and it's going to turn into private land that we can't access.
Yeah, and that's a business in itself.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a multi-million-dollar business a year.
I mean, it's not really gonna. It's not even going to make a dent in the deficit at all. No. It's not going to do anything.
And if you read a little bit of it, it's 5% of the sale goes to the state. And 95% of it goes to pay off the deficit. So we overspent and now we're going to sell an asset to pay for something. That's like fucking going too hard on your credit card, and to make the payment, we're going to sell the car to pay off the credit card. It makes no sense. You know what I mean? It's crazy that they're even thinking of this. And
well, who's the one that introduced that part of the bill? Is that
it was a senator from
Mike Lee
from Utah.
Yeah, I was gonna say Utah.
Yeah.
And that's crazy too, man. Because I mean, you think about it. There's a lot of prime hunting in Utah and shit. Like, why the fuck would you want to?
But they don't have. I think it's Utah or Colorado. They don't have over the counter no more.
They don't. They're getting rid of it. They're getting rid of it both.
Yeah.
But what it comes down to is,
well, why the fuck would you want to piss off your people? I mean, I would say at least 80% of that state hunts.
Yeah, but it comes down to the government being so subsidized, where private investors can fund a campaign and can make it go away. I mean, this will blow over if freaking Justin Timberlake gets a DUI. Everyone's talking about that for 2-3 weeks, and then nobody's paying attention to what's going through Congress. And the next thing you know, this bill passes, and they're already, stacking the deck. They already know this is going to happen, so they're already, divesting into, private funds so they can purchase all this land, privatize it, make money off of, either, outfitters or mining or logging or whatever it is, or selling it.
Like in the mining industry, it's too many. It's like too much, dude. It's the requirements too much. Like you need permits for everything. Yeah. So I say like it's probably for something else other than that, because mining's really, really hard. Like nobody, like it's hard. Like I said, the requirements that you need, it's too strict. Yeah. I just think and then what sucks about this whole, like, if it does pass, it's the future. Yeah. Our kids are going to be screwed over land.
And that's the thing that I think about, like, all the memories that I've made, since my early 20s, over 20 years of, going out there. And mind you, like, that's just us, hunting. Then you got people that are camping. Then you got people that are skiing, hiking, kayaking.
I mean, think about it. I mean, it's on a small scale, right? We had Wall Lake for a really, really long time, and it was good fishing and stuff. I think they had pike there and everything. Then somebody bought it, and I don't think you can fish that no more. You know what I mean?
And it's so crazy to think, like, like it's our land. We can use it, and then say, I'm gonna buy it, and F all you guys. This is mine now. Stay off my lawn. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it sucks, dude. I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't make it all the way. It technically shouldn't. I mean,
they got it removed once, man. And I'm hoping they remove it again. It sucks that they removed it, and then this fucker's stuck it back in there.
You know what? He's got to be working for somebody, because
that's it.
That's a lot of land, dude.
It's greasing some wheels. It's, hey, man, put it out there. Don't worry about the backlash you're gonna have. We'll take care of that. But put it out there, and if it passes,
it's like, okay, you represent Utah, but you're fucking with Colorado, with New Mexico, with Wyoming, with Idaho.
Well, when it was introduced as 11 states. We're gonna do it this way to decrease the deficit, to get us back on our budget, and then everyone voted against it, so it was taken down, and then it was reintroduced by him. But this was already proposed once, so it wasn't him. It was whoever made the first bill, which was the big beautiful bill. It was in there, and that's the crazy thing about it, is these bills getting so complicated to where they're hundreds of pages long. And if you don't read the fine print, then you'll lose rights, or you lose land, or you lose, all these things. It's getting out of hand. And I think that's the scary part about it, is, it got taken down once, it got reintroduced again. Like, if we don't pay attention to this, like, it could pass. And, none of us are the wiser.
Look how close they came to banning, cat hunting, bro. The lions and bobcats and stuff in Colorado. I think it came down to like 41-42 vote.
Yeah.
They almost stopped it. And here in New Mexico, they stopped trapping.
Yeah.
Arizona, they stopped game cams. It's like, how how far are they gonna let this shit go? Or I'm glad somebody's paying attention to the bills and how they work and stuff. I mean, that's way over my head. As far as like understanding all the legalities of it and everything, it's way over my head. But I think that the hunting community and even the fishing community, they're a strong force, but it's not just affecting us. The regular recreational person, the person that just hikes trails, bikes trails. Everybody's involved in that shit. Everybody's gonna be affected by that. The park goers, man. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of people that are going to be affected, and I don't know if everybody knows, or even if they know, I don't know if they would do something like act on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know like a lot of the big names and even some of the small names are pushing out the number and stuff. And Onyx had a link, so
Yeah.
to email your senator. I think the sportsman's something. I remember the name of it. They had a link as well. How.org. They had everything, but it's been a constant battle for a long time. Man. It started in California with the same shit with coyotes, I think, in lions and stuff. And then they tried to get Colorado. They didn't get Colorado. They got Arizona, and then they tried to do that here in New Mexico. They got the trapping, so we're not allowed to trap anymore. Just a lot of shit, dude. A lot of shit for people don't. And it's not just the land sales; it's the banning of hunting this, banning of hunting that, with no science behind it. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's just been an ongoing war between anti-hunters and those kind of organizations versus the regular outdoorsmen. I say outdoorsmen, but that's not just fishing and hunting, man. It's a lot more.
No, it's everybody. It's everybody. And what's crazy to me is that some people don't even realize that public land is what it is, or BLM is what it is. Like people that go to Rockhound State Park or to Mojave Park or whatever it is, or just to go for a hike or for a run or whatever, and they don't realize that they're able to do that because this is BLM land or public land, and they wouldn't have access to that if it wasn't that way. It's frustrating because I do feel like New Mexico doesn't manage as well as they should. Even the water, like Elephant Butte, Caballo Lake, like Roberts, all that stuff, I kind of feel like they need to pay a little more attention, and I feel like they need more funding, and to kind of get this stuff figured out. But I mean, you saw we feel the impact as far as not getting a tag, and there's years where it feels like some of these units shouldn't have as many tags as they have because the herds are so low, or the movement isn't there, and it's like, what do you do about that?
Yeah, there's a lot of units that probably shouldn't have as many tags. There's one unit near us that that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
that's the amount of tags. That's a lot of tags.
Yeah,
I think on one of them it's like 250 tags overall or something like that.
No, it's 400. I think.
And that's just for one.
Our neighboring
weapon.
unit is 450, and I think ours right here.
Is that total or just per weapon?
No, that's just per hunt.
Is that shit?
So you have like in that unit, well, you have the first rifle, muzzleloader rifle, second rifle. All those are 450.
Yeah,
each. So what is that success factor right there? What does that come out to? Like, that's what, like, a lot of people will, first thing they see, they're gonna shoot. They're not gonna be like picky about it. Just gonna say whatever.
Yeah.
Which kind of works out because a lot of people are like over and done with. They shoot, they kill, and then they take off.
Yeah. You hope. I think there's some faults to that, man. There's the faults to New Mexico's game and fish system and stuff. And I mean, having a small voice, it's still a voice, but they don't seem to take that into account. Like,
yeah.
There's, besides my morals and ethics, there's nothing really stopping me from going and popping a deer. And as long as I'm not checked, going into a Walmart, picking up another freaking tag, paying extra money, and going right back out there. There's absolutely no checks in that.
Yeah, and it comes back to the funding, because I remember 2017, 2018, we bumped into a couple of game wardens, and they were talking about doing checkpoints and checking tags and checking stuff like that. But it comes down to budget cuts, and what does the game warden do? What does this park rangers do? They're just gonna sit there and bullshit. No, I'm not gonna pay
there's
them.
there's too many units to cover.
Yeah,
like I can understand off like a main road. Like if you're going off the main highway, let's call it highway. Off the main highway, you can be checking tags left and right. There's people camping on the left or right. But dude, the units are huge. Like you're gonna tell me you're gonna drive all the way in there.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. That I feel like they should be more personnel out there, more game wardens, more checks.
No, I understand that. I mean, have you guys ever been checked?
I've twice.
I think I have too. I think for my Kusa, and That was it. Or for adolescents,
But-
elk hunt.
But one of them was like an actual, like me talking to a game warden. And the second one, it was me and Josh up on a ridge and they ran our plates. So I'm sure they were checking if we had
Oh yeah.
tags.
I got pictures of those fuckers.
Yeah. Which I don't
But
mind.
mean, I'm pretty well known now with them, and it's not a bad thing. But
Might
like,
sound bad.
yeah, it does sound bad. But no, they know who I am and stuff, so it's like if they see my truck out there, it's like, all right, I don't know.
Well, they see you out there enough times to know you're out there hunting and you're out there, you know.
And then like in our neighboring unit here, in our neighboring unit, you know, I've been checked a couple of times and stuff, and if I do have questions on some legal stuff, I'll shoot him a message and like, hey, can I do this? And he's like, yeah, you can do that. Or, hey, I got some dove in front of me and I can't find out when it started. I don't have any service. I don't have a book on me. Am I good? And he'll be like, no, it's not. It doesn't start till next week. Like, some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
For example, anyways. But yeah, I mean, most of the time when they see my truck out there, they know me already.
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing, and it's one of those things that
no, because they don't know me for fucked up reasons. That's why.
Yeah, but you're out there enough where they recognize the truck, and you know, we've bumped into them in Sheep's Corral. They came and talked to us, checked up on us, you know, and checked our tags there, which is a good thing.
Yeah, those are the first time I met those guys.
Yeah,
and they're just talking shit to them, bro.
They could be kind of a little bit intimidating, you know. Like,
I mean, of course,
they can, man, but. You think about it, you know, most of the time they roll up on you, they're by themselves, you know, and if you're hunting,
it's a scarier situation for them than it is for us.
You're armed and they're by themselves. So it's kind of a sketchy situation for them just right off the bat. And I've seen some training videos that they have to go through and stuff because they got to have their head on a swivel, basically, when they're confronting somebody, because there might be somebody hiding off in the bushes and shit. They would never know, you know, but whenever I encounter a game warden, I try to break the ice by trying to be funny. You know what I mean? A little bit. Just to let their ease, you know, let them be at ease a little bit. And some of them, like the rookies, they don't go for that shit. They don't go for that shit. Like the two that he's mentioning, they were mentioning my tattoos. And I was like, you guys don't have tattoos? You don't have his face on your lower back? Like, shit like that, you know what I mean? And they'll be like, oh, yeah, you know, he actually does. And they were just cracking jokes and shit.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't even two game wardens. It was a game warden and a sheriff.
It was a sheriff.
It's kind of weird for you two to be back here by yourselves. What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Shit like that, dude. And you know, they checked my licenses and all that stuff, and we're all good and stuff. But it's just to keep the mood light. You know what I mean? You don't want a bad experience and shit, and then you have that bad juju, you have a bad attitude, and your hunt starts going south, and everything's because the game warden showed up. You know what I mean?
No, I used to get like, oh fuck, there they come.
Yeah.
Kind of scary, you know what I mean? But like, even when they're checking your fishing license, you're like, oh man, there they come.
Oh man, we were up in Ruidoso, and we went up there. We were up there. We were going to shoot ASA, archery, and then halfway to Ruidoso, they canceled the shoot, you know. So we already had the cabin booked, you know, let's make the best of it. So we go to Walmart, buy a couple of fishing poles. The girls slept in. We got up at 5 a.m. We went fishing. And I remember telling my buddy, Billy, I was like, hey man, you got your fishing license? And he goes, yeah, I got it on my phone. I was like, take a screenshot of it because we're not gonna have service out there. And he's like, yeah, for sure. Well, here I am scolding him. Hey, take a screenshot. I never did. So we go out there, we're fishing, and you know, we're fishing and we're catching fish, man. And game warden pulls up, and he asked him for his license, and he goes, yeah, he told me to take a screenshot of it last night, so I did. Here it is. And he goes, what about you? And I'm like, oh fuck. You know, so I'm like, give me a minute, and I'm like doing the whole fucking, can you hear me now, Verizon fucking, you know, dance out there trying to get service. And then I finally got service, and he, you know, he politely told me, he was like, hey man, you know, you're lucky it's not busy right now, because if it was busy and you couldn't access your license, I would have had to give you a ticket, because if I don't have time for this, I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I understand, I'm sorry, sir. And ran over a little bit further down the road, and got service, took a screenshot, showed it to him. He already had it pulled up. They know.
Yeah, by your name and all that.
Yeah,
They,
you know.
But I mean, it says on there that you have to have it on your person.
Yeah, and he was within his right, and it was my mistake. I went in, I was able to pull it up, show it to him real quick, and then I'm with Billy, and he was talking about how oh, you're not really gonna catch anything off of worms or something, and he was like, Billy was smart ass. He's like, stick to what you know, and I'll stick to what I know, and he casts out there. He's walking away and he fucking catches a fish. He's like, oh, making it obvious.
Yeah.
And he turns around and he looks at him and he's like, got one. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that, man, and it's, you know, it's good to break the ice with them, and it's good to have them on your side, because I mean, I've run into some sketchy situations out there where I've needed to call the game warden, you know, and it's good that they're out there.
Yeah.
You know, it's good they're there.
But I mean, they can be intimidating though. It's like getting pulled over by a cop. You don't know what the fuck you did wrong or anything. And it's like, well, shit, what happened?
oh, you know, most of the time.
Oh yeah, well, I mean,
you know why.
But I mean,
know.
okay, so when they're walking up to your car and you can't find your registration, or you can't find, you know, the paperwork and stuff,
Dude,
like, fuck,
yeah.
I know I have it and it's here somewhere, and they're coming and stuff, and it's like, with the game warden, it's like, hey, do you have your license? Like, yeah. You open your wallet up and it's not in there. Like, oh fuck, I know it's in here somewhere. And especially with game wardens that you know to be a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna mention any names, but
Starts with an
I haven't had any problems with him. But there was one that started with a G, and yeah, he put my brother in court a couple times. And then whenever I had my run-in with him, I could not for the life of me find my fucking license in my wallet, dude. And I'm trying to keep my cool, and my hands are saying I'm nervous because I'm fucking shaking. And so like, fuck, I know what's in here. And I was the only one hunting. I think it was a quail license I was looking for, and finally found it. But I know this guy's.
But who carries? Honestly, truthfully,
What?
who carries that paper? Who carries their license nowadays? I just snap a picture.
I do now.
I do.
I
Yeah.
do now.
I don't. I've always
So-
snap a picture or.
I always have it
that's-
in the top pocket of my pack, always. You know, and if it's a fishing license, I have a couple of printouts, right? If it's a fishing license, it's in my. You had the F-150, right? That little drop down thing with your sunglasses. I always have my fishing license in there if I have one.
No, the fishing license, like I don't, but like if it's like the actual license to hunt, then
Yeah.
I'll make sure
picture.
I print a couple copies and.
Yeah, I always put one in my pack, and then
Bino harness for me.
Because
Yeah,
they never usually, like, I've had let's see, about 3 times they've checked my license, not the license itself, but the tag.
Yeah.
They don't ask for the license; they ask for the tag. Do you have a tag?
yeah.
And they'll just ask, like, hey, your name, your.
Yeah. But like for me, like in the neighboring unit, I know the game warden pretty damn good. He's both my kids passed his course and stuff, and we've become pretty good acquaintances over the last couple of years and stuff. So you'll ask for my tag, just like you said. You know, like, you have your tag, and make sure it's good and stuff. Because back in the day, man, like when my brother went to court, you know, he went to Walmart, bought a OTC, you know, they filled it all out, and he signed it. You know, once you sign it, you're fucked. That's your tag. So he bought it for what he thought he was going to be hunting 24. Whoever put his license together put him in 21, and he signed it. So we're out there hunting. Mr. G fucking comes around and checks his license and fucking busts him, bro, for hunting in the wrong unit. He said, no, it's 24. He's like, nope, look right here. And it said 21 on the fucking thing.
Shit.
Because I asked her to put 24, and yeah, she put the wrong one. Now, if you were to alter it, back then there was a carbon copy.
Yeah.
So he was screwed all the way. I mean, he had to go to court for all that stuff. And then same game warden. This is why that dude is just, he does shit by the book, right? You can't be mad at him for that. You know, that's his job. I get it. Same game warden. My brother was out fishing and cruises with his son. Got the rod, casted it out, gave it to his son. He's like, all right, he's fishing. Well, game warden saw him from the top.
Yeah.
Saw my brother cast it out. Even though he's not the one that's actually fishing, he's with his son.
Yeah. But you
Gave him a
cast
ticket
it
for it. He casted it. So So if you're out there and you're fishing with a kid and stuff and you don't have a license, make sure the rod's in his hand. You can cast with him and do it that way. But if he catches a fish, you can't pick it up. You can't touch that rod. He's got to be in his hands
certain age.
or her hands.
It's a certain age, right? That they
12 years old is when you need a fishing license.
Right. Yeah.
I thought it was 12 and under. You don't.
You don't.
No, 12
and up.
12 and over.
So if he's 13 and you cast it for him and you hand him the rod, you're in
both
trouble.
fucked. Yeah. Yeah, you're both. Yeah. If it's 12 years old, once they're 12, you have to have a license.
Dude, I don't really like fishing, honestly. I used to back then, but that's how I started, before
Dude,
hunting.
Maybe you're doing it wrong.
No, I know how to catch.
Remember when we used to go out? We used to go out and catfish.
Yeah, caballo.
Yeah.
It used to be, but it was like after that, I just kind of like. Ever since I've been hunting, I just don't.
Yeah.
Like I'll take the boys because they're always
like, we were hard. I always tell my buddies got really into fishing, and I was telling them that we used to go out there to the river, and we would not take any food, and we were like, if we catch a fish, we're gonna eat that. We'd fucking catch some catfish, and we'd fucking have that, and little crawdads in the beer cans and that shit. Yeah. That shit was fucking good.
They're all muddy, all like.
That shit was good.
Come to find out years later, you gotta like kind of purge them and clean them out. Well, back then it was just like throwing some beer, like a beer can of beer.
Everything tastes so much better after
a couple of beers,
6 or 7 Keystones back then.
Right.
I think the last time we were at the river, bro, my brother fell in. Remember?
Oh yeah.
I had to give him my pants. I think.
Yep.
He was all drunk, He was trying to catch freaking crawdads. That's what he was trying to do. Fucking all drunk, bro. Fell in the river.
Shit happens.
It was cold as fuck too.
Yeah.
We're in your dad's truck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the same time your brother lit himself on fire.
Yeah. Fucking Gustavo.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So going back, man, I mean, real quick, like you started off with a shotgun basically, and then you got into archery, like, and you've been on rifle hunts. How do you compare your rifle hunts versus your archery hunts?
I think it's the same, dude. Like you still, like you still got to go out there and find them.
Do you prepare different for archery opposed to rifle, or do you prepare the same?
I think it's more preparation with archery, because archery you really really have to have your shit dialed in, like as far as arrows, make sure all your equipment. With the rifle, honestly, like I really don't. Honestly, there's been times where I don't even. I'll get out of the safe like the day before, and I'll clean it. And then just get some bullets, and because I mean it's a rifle, you know what I mean. Unless you have it in your pickup truck and it's bumping around, preparation wise, it's not. You know what I mean. I've done the same thing the last 4 years.
Yeah,
just load it up and
you John Daly it for the rifle. John Daly's golfer that shows up hungover, cracks open a beer. What's the course record and what time do I start?
No, but it is preparation wise, it's a lot different, because
for archery,
like I said, like with the rifles, I mean, I think the farthest shot I ever taken at an animal has been I think this last year was 460 or 446, one of those two. That's 400 yards. That's a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So as far as shooting, you got to be steady. Obviously, right equipment. And it doesn't hurt to go shoot, a week in advance. Mm-hmm. Make sure you're still on paper and you're dialed in. Mm-hmm. But with archery, I mean, you got to be... Like, I haven't shot my bow this year, honestly. I think I've only gone to one bow shoot.
Yeah.
We're mid-year already. Then
I got you right where I want you tomorrow.
I think you've done two.
Two, huh?
I think. I saw your name on the scoreboard. I think you missed the last two.
Yeah,
so June, January, February. I think you missed March,
so
April.
it's different. It's just way different.
You know what I've been doing that you kind of put me on is the balloons.
Oh yeah, dude. That's the
so
best practice. So if I'm on myself, usually like I used to, I haven't this year. Just haven't been kind of in a funk. But so good practice that I have, right, is I'll start off just warm up. Mm-hmm. I do like about 10 shots at 20 yards. Make sure you hit those on the bag. Mm-hmm. And then what I like to do is I have my little elk and I'll put it at. Last time it was 8. I started at 80, but usually I'll about go 60, and then that balloon I'll put it but the same size as the heart of we'll say like a deer. Mm-hmm. And as long as you're within that, like even squeezing that balloon with your arrow, I think you're fine. But it's fun, dude, because archery, honestly, it's kind of boring. If you're shooting at the same thing To me,
Yeah.
I get bored.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not gonna
Yeah.
shoot. I'm gonna spend 2 hours shooting a bag, shooting like it gets boring. But if you take some balloons with the little golf tees to pin them on the bag
Mm-hmm.
or pin
Yeah.
them on your target,
Yeah.
and it just becomes fun. Like now
Mhm.
you have like usually if it's two of us, we'll
We tend to have like some kind of instant gratification or popping that
Fuck
balloon.
yeah.
at
and then
whatever
you could do
distance.
and then 60 at 60, 70, 80 yards, whatever. Even 40 yards, you could do different size balloons. You could do like a balloon the size of a golf ball.
Mm-hmm.
We've done the size of a grape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or sometimes you just blow it up all the way.
Yep.
But that's a good, it's a good way to prepare. But like I said, rifle and archery are two different things, dude. Like it's way different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like because with the archery, I got to get close.
Mm-hmm.
If I go on my rifle, if I go on a rifle hunt and I see a deer, good sized deer, elk, whatever, across the canyon, and he's about 500, 600 yards, I could literally just lay there, wait for an open shot, and just shoot him.
Mm-hmm.
But with archery, I really
Yeah.
and then with the rifle,
Archery, you're exposed to the
precise.
elements. You're exposed to his senses. You're exposed to your skill set. Like how far is your furthest shot? What are you comfortable shooting? Terrain, elevation.
well, it's the same. I'd say it's the same thing. You know what I mean? You still gotta be, even with the rifle. You can't. I mean, if it's rainy, if it's windy, you're not.
Yeah.
You gotta know. You gotta know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because like I said, the farthest shot ever. Because we always prepare more than we need to, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been like, oh, but let's go shoot 600 yards. And up until last year, the farthest shot we ever taken was 568 or 268. I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
268 yards. Prior
So
to last
you
year.
practice the same way with a rifle as you would with a bow, right? You shoot double the distance you were would be
Yeah,
comfortable with.
so with the rifle, but it's more like I'll go and shoot 100, make sure I'm still dialing at 100, and then maybe take 2-3 shots because I have some bullets on my buddy made me, and with my 300 Win Mag, and I don't like to use it a lot because I only have 100 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So we shoot a little bit. We don't shoot a whole lot with that rifle.
Well, 300 Win Mag, you have a brake on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so the recoil's not.
the recoil is not bad.
Yeah,
It's not
you
bad.
gotta shoot his 300 Win Mag.
No, and that's what I was telling them, like for higher calibers. And then nowadays they have even if your barrel's not threaded, you have one you can just slip on there.
Oh, that's who I was talking to.
Slip on
about
there, little bolt or little Allen set screws, and you just
Mm-hmm.
you don't need it to be threaded.
Yeah.
I mean it's beneficial because that does take a lot of the recoil.
yeah.
You'd be
And
surprised.
that rifle needs it, bro.
Yeah.
I remember like every year I would take that damn thing out of the safe, and it's like I had to set it in, get my grip and everything, and just
Mentally
fucking
prepare.
punch the trigger just to get that rush again, just to feel it, and then after that I was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always took that one shot just to remember what the fuck it felt like.
Yeah.
Because that fucker kicks.
Yeah, and then
Oh, it's
another
a
thing
hard
too
hit,
is like
man.
you don't need like a heavy grain bullet.
Yeah, no.
Like I think most of the deer we ever kill has been with the 6.5 Creedmoor.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 125 grains.
Yeah.
I think 168 might be on my 300 Win Mag.
Mm-hmm.
And
You
that's
shoot 168.
168, nothing heavy, dude.
Yeah.
It's not that crazy, but
think out of the 3 Win Mag, I think I started off at 180, and that has a lot of punch to it. And then I think the last time I started shooting 150s. I don't know. Did I gave you 2 boxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the rifle, was there 150s? Do you know?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I'll have to
and it's
double
shot
check.
placement. Like a lot of times, like I say, even with archery.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody thinks that just because you have the most expensive arrow and the heaviest arrow, it doesn't mean shit unless you place it where you're supposed to.
Whoa! Time out. So
No, I'm just
that
telling you.
doesn't work.
I've seen some people kill it with the hunters.
What?
100
He
for a
killed
hunter.
his out with 100.
Yeah, exactly.
100, like what, 500? What was it?
400, 400.
Just mentally, to us,
His fucking
mentally,
arrow was like six inches
I
long.
think it still
Yeah.
is.
Still is.
I just think that people get carried away. Like you don't need, like I said,
Yeah.
that
You don't need a
rifle-
whole lot of weight, but I
Yeah.
mean, you do. I think on the high end, for me personally, in my opinion, I think the 460 grain arrow is probably the heaviest I would ever need.
Ideal.
Yeah, that's ideal.
Mhm.
It's gonna give you some range. It's not gonna have a whole lot of arc. It's gonna have the punch it needed to probably break a rib and go in and do its job.
I think
Anything more than that is I think it's overkill.
I think that's where I'm sitting at right now.
460, 465. I think that's what my FMJs were. I've had arrows that were like 480, but that was in the very beginning. And I mean, for deer, you don't really need that much.
Yeah.
And the ones I shot my deer this year with, I think it was like 420. It was an ultra arrow. I mean, it did its job.
Yeah, you don't have to go out and buy the brand new Matthews and buy the Sitka gear and animal. The Ultra View arrows and the Ultra View sight and the Ultra View.
I understand.
It's nice to have it.
Yeah.
But it's all about the time that you spend.
I think it's more of a want than a necessity.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it depends on what you're hunting too. Like, I mean, like Ranch Fairy's 600, 700 grain arrow and shit. If you're going to hunt Drake buffalo, I think you probably want some kinetic energy behind something like that.
Yeah, I want to say there's like a requirement. It has to be like over 800 grains to hunt Africa.
Really?
I think something like that. I've heard something like that.
I gotta ask Lemuro, dude.
Yeah. I'll ask my buddy.
Josh Bomar.
No, John Dudley.
Oh, John Dudley.
Yeah, my buddy. I'll text him later. I'll get you some info.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But no.
I'm gonna tell him you're wearing blue shorts and not green ones.
Oh shit! Don't tell him. I'll send him a picture later. No, but it comes down to that, and it comes down to the want, and we all want to have the nice truck and the nice this and the nice that, and if it's something that you're passionate about and you're into, you want to have the nicer stuff, but you don't necessarily have to start that way.
No,
you can build into it.
No, and I think that's what archery. It's so like that's why it's so popular nowadays, because everybody like they get into it and they start off with the hand-me-down.
Yeah,
a lot of people nowadays starting with the hand-me-down bow.
Yeah.
And then from there, because like I told my little one, I was like, I won't go spend $1,000 on a bow for you, because if I go spend $1,000 on a bow for you and you don't like it, then I'm down $1,000.
Yeah.
Like, and the question is, well, why do you do it? Well, because I shoot all the time.
Yeah.
It's like people like golfing. They like going out there. They're like, well, I compare golfing and archery.
Yeah. That's a good analogy. We talked about that the last time.
Yeah.
It's like Tiger Woods, like you can hand him clubs from Goodwill and he's going to fucking go out there and birdie a couple of holes, and he's still going to be a badass. But it ain't the clubs, it's the skill set.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people kind of like, they think just because you get like a Matthews or you get like a hole, you're just going to shoot just like the guys that shoot that. And it doesn't, and it's never happened like that. It
never fails, man. It's, and I'm not saying it's Matthews specifically, but I'm talking about the people that go out there and spend $3,000-$4,000 on equipment, and then they have a bad shot, and they just like look at the equipment like, what the fuck? Like, that just happened,
And you've done that.
I do that all the time. I do that all the time.
Like you will shoot good, and we're doing good, and then all of a sudden, like there's a shot, you're like, oh, let me get like 7 clicks to the left.
Yeah, we're gonna see it tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see it tomorrow.
Let me shake it. Let me spin it around.
Yeah. It's that. But to be honest, the last time that we shot my bow, but the batteries were low on it. So
I will tell you this, and I was being a true believer. Like, if your shit's not broken, why fix it?
Yeah.
Like my stuff, I'm not like, it's shooting good. Like, I'm scared to
mess with it.
Yeah, why am I gonna mess with the fish?
With
You're not
me,
one of us.
Yeah. With me, it's like, well, the new one came out this year, so
yeah.
No, I don't want to.
Hey, you know what, dude? Talking about that, I'm kind of proud of myself. I haven't bought a bow in like 2 years.
It's for me, it's this archery equipment depreciates over a couple of years, so you're better off selling it while the market's hot and then buying a new one every single year.
Yeah, I don't.
That's why I tell my wife, at least. So
I don't know, man. Like, I've been like superstitious with stuff like that. I'll just keep it.
Yeah.
Like,
so how many bows do you actually have that you shoot?
Had 3.
Huh.
But then I'm down to 2, and my little brother, I'm pretty sure, is gonna pick up the one of the bows I have.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. He wants to get into it, so I'd give him a good.
Bring him. Is he available tomorrow?
No. No.
Just to bring him out, just to see what it's all about, not to shoot if
No,
he's
I've been
not
telling
ready.
him about it. I guess his girlfriend, she's there. Her side of the family's really into hunting and stuff, and
Oh, that's badass.
so yeah, I told him I was like, give a good deal on the bow, fully set up. The only thing I told him I was like, you're not taking the sight because that's an expensive sight.
Yeah. What sight is that?
The
Spot hog.
No, it's not the spot hog. The dovetail carbon XL.
Okay.
Ultra view.
The landslide.
Is it the landslide?
Landslide. Yeah. Man, I wish I wouldn't have sold one.
I like it,
dude. That thing's
I have
sweet.
the Achieve.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about trading out the scope on it, but
from the Achieve to the landslide, what I liked about it was the wheel was a lot more. It felt like it was smoother, and then also you could click it and just move it.
Yeah.
You know, that was a game changer.
Yeah.
Because like when you're going from like 30 and then you have the next shot's 70.
Yeah.
And then you have to like wind that wheel down.
Yeah.
You know,
now mine has
click
that
and
release.
Does it?
Release.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So you don't have the form?
Yeah.
So the funny story, so you know, I told myself too, if this year, like if I would have gotten drawn for an Elcon, I would have had like all brand new equipment right now. Well, not all brand new, but I'm new because I wanted the, but their carbon bowl's not Prime's carbon bowl is not compared to, you know,
PSC?
Elites,
PSC?
yeah, PSC, Hoyts. It's not the same thing, but it's. I think it's cool. I've shot one. It doesn't feel bad.
What'd you think about the cycle? Is it the same cam?
Yeah, it's smooth. I think it's smooth. And then now they came out with the 30.
The 30.
I saw that.
So
I eyeballed that one, bro, because I love my short ATA bows.
Mm-hmm.
I love them. That's what I started with. I started with a 28, and it was aggressive, but man, it was just
How tall are you?
Fast. How tall? I'm like 6'1".
Yeah, that's
well,
crazy.
I think for a starter, if you're barely starting, I think a longer.
Yeah.
Like my little brother, that's what I told him. I was like,
35.
I had that prime
35
34.
But see, like when I started, 35 was not heard of. I think.
Yeah.
It was. PSC wasn't there yet.
Yeah, I had a 33,
I think.
3 Obsession Evolution, and then I went to the PSC Evolve, and that was a 35. And man, that was probably the best I ever shot with that.
Yeah,
and then I was like, I need a new color.
I just think when you have too many, like, what was throwing me off too was, so I had my hunting bow, right? I put new strings on it, whatever. Then I had the other 30. That's a 33 or 32, whatever it is. Then I had the 35, 34.
That always threw me off for you.
Yeah, like you go shooting both of them, and I tried getting used to both of them, and
well, because you shoot your hunting rig is a Hoyt, right?
No, it's a Prime. It's
Prime.
Prime.
Well, now it is, right?
Okay, but before. And that's right. You made that switch. But before you had a Hoyt for your hunting rig, and then you had a Prime for your 3D.
You had a Matthews at one point, didn't you?
Yeah, the one that was given to me, it was a Matthews Chill X.
You didn't have one after that, like a VXR or anything like that?
Yeah, dude, I tell Larry all the time, I don't like them. They're too heavy for me.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like they're too heavy.
I just feel like, I think for a long time, dude, it felt like every time you'd show up to shoot one of our shoots, you had a different bow.
No, I've only had, honestly.
Or maybe
it was that, and you are very superstitious. So like, this bow's shooting like shit. I'm gonna shoot the other one.
Yeah.
And then you would show up with that one, and you would shoot it, and like, it felt like you would shoot both of them, and then you'd be like, this one, the juju's off on this one. I'm gonna shoot that one.
Yeah, I was been like that, dude. Like, I just don't like.
So you would come up to the shoots with like 2 bows?
Always, yeah.
Yeah, one in the truck. Like, this shit ain't doing it.
So I shoot both of them. Like you said, I'll shoot both of them. And then one of them's like, it's not feeling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like at 30, 40 yards. If I'm not shooting dead center or close to it, then I'll.
He's like the coach, and then he benches one of them, and then he starts the other one.
Yeah.
You know?
And I was crazy because like,
I've watched
when I started, I was in PSC, all PSC. I had all the drives from 2016 all the way up to like 2020. I had all the drives, Drive XL, Drive NXT, and then the black one with the blue strings, it derailed.
Mm-hmm.
And then Larry's like, shoot my bow, and it was a Matthews TRG.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, fuck, it's not the same, bro. He's like, yeah, it's a 29-inch draw length, all this stuff, and I fucking smoked Larry with that bow. With his own bow, like, damn, this is kind of nice, you know. I never shot Matthews before.
That was crazy.
That was like a 38.
We're shooting the course.
We're
shooting the course. He derails his bow halfway through the course, and then shoots Larry's bow. So they're sharing a bow, which it wasn't gay. They were just sharing the bow.
Oh,
And then
Different shafts.
different shafts, same bow, different shafts, and they weren't putting it in the same hole. But yeah, he managed to shoot that better than Larry that day.
Yeah.
It was like, what the
That
hell?
was the craziest thing. I ended up buying that bow from him.
yeah, you did. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Then I sold it.
I told myself like I was gonna get into like 3D, right? Because I have stabilizers, long as stabilizers, fat arrows. I just can't get into it. Like I can't.
You have a lens yet?
I have a lens.
Yeah.
All that shit talk you did all these years.
Verifier, clarifier, whatever. I've had. Yeah. And I just can't get into it, dude. I can't do it.
It's not fun for you.
No, it's
What
not.
what if we were to make a little friendly competition out of it? Would you be more intrigued to do it?
No, not really.
No, you don't give a shit.
I can't get into that, dude. Like, cause it's like I'm focusing on my shooting ability with with my hunting bow, and then you take it away, and then you go with 3D 50 pounds.
If you shot instead of shooting targets for score, you shot it for kill shots. Would that make it better?
Well, I do that now.
No, but I mean,
No,
don't
you
shoot
don't.
for a 12 ring. You don't shoot for a 10.
Why don't you go for the 12?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Why don't
I
you
do
go
that.
for the
I do it
12?
all the time. Like every time we go out, like that's why it ruins me.
So he doesn't go for the kill shot. He goes for the 12, and so it's competitive.
Yeah.
But I just think man, for you to get into, well, I don't know, maybe not, because you shot sunrise. But I was gonna say 3D. I mean, total archery challenge, man. But
that's different though. Like that's you know what, if you go to total archery challenge with the long ass bow and fat arrows and you're pulling back 50 pounds, there's no way.
No, I've never. Well, I wouldn't say never. We only went one time, but I would say from what I saw, most of those bows are Matthews bows.
Yeah.
And they're all hunting rigs, man. There's no long stabilizers,
it's
no
crazy
competition, like setups, nothing like that. It's just straight up bow hunter bows.
Yeah.
I just can't get into it, dude. Like I said, I tried it.
You see a lot of that, like the long axle to axle and ASA, and like the pro-ams and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But when you go to total archery challenge, it's like the hunting people.
Yeah.
You know, because I think it's like the way the shots are set up and the long distance, and it's a lot more realistic. And well, mind you, most of these are at ski resorts and like pretty big properties, so they have like plenty of fucking real estate to put these shots out there.
What sucks too is one time we went to, I think it was Tall Pines there in by Cloudcroft, and I think I got like 9th place.
No, Thunderbird shoot.
No, it was Cloudcroft.
Yeah. Tall Pines.
Oh yeah, it is.
Thunderbird. Yeah.
And so we went, dude, and I got smoked by people with lenses, and but it kind of made sense. But like to me, it's just like I can't.
Yeah. No, I get it, and it's something that we all struggle with, because you have to like set up a bow to compete in open, where it's a little more competitive.
Yeah.
But if you stay in bow hunter, then it's like it's not as fun. I don't know. It's like there needs to be like an in between, I guess.
Well, Arizona, I know that the bow shoots that we went to one time, that's the one we got. I think we're like top 10, me and Larry. But so you couldn't have a scope. Stabilizers had to be less than 12 inches.
Mm-hmm.
And you could do multiple pin or an adjustable.
Yeah.
Didn't matter.
So a slider. And that's something that we were talking about the last time, is most of the hunting rigs that we have now are slider,
Yeah.
And
it's I think I like it. But like I said, Arizona, that was the first time I ever got introduced to that, like that separate class.
Yeah.
And then once you put on a lens or a verifier,
then it was open.
Then you shot with the different guys. But
it's like a Luke shoot, dude.
Yeah.
Up in Colorado, right? Bailey, best of the best. Him and Aaron Snyder. It's just straight up bow hunting rigs or traditional. You know what I mean? So there's no glass whatsoever. Your stabilizer it's 12 inches, but if you have the quick disconnect, as long as it's just the disconnect, it's still 12 inches. You know, you're good. But no bullshit. Like can't have no clarifier, no verifier, no lens, and you can have a movable sight, but it's a straight up bow hunting rig.
Yeah.
And if you show up with what did he say? If you show up with shit that's illegal to the shoot, he's like, I might just fuck you up. But it's like it's one of those things, man. You gotta be strict to the rules. So straight up bow hunting, like you don't hunt with the glass.
No.
Unless you're a dumbass like me. Forget to take it out.
But a lot of people do hunt with the verifier.
A verifier.
Yeah, because
and see, like in ASA, I want to say the clarifier verifier is okay in some classes,
just
but you can't have the magnification
because the clarifier will mess up the image, but the verifier won't. And the verifier is just for like people.
They can't, because I have a verifier, and I have issues with my right eye.
Yeah.
So I can't,
like a vision thing.
So I can't. Yeah. So I can't see, even though it's kind of crazy because I can see like stuff far away, but with my right eye, like I can see that pin and I see it blurry all the time. So then I mean, it's a known. I've had this. I known this issue, but I just can't. I have a verifier, but I just can't shoot with it. Like I just, it gets annoying after a while, and you're.
Like for me, dude, like I have the specialty archery sight. I had to take the glass out of it. I had to take the aperture out because it's too small. Even at a 1/4 inch, it's too damn small. I had to open it all up. But I did notice too is like if I wear my glasses, I can't run the clarifier. It's too much.
Yeah.
So, for tack, I probably won't run glass at all. I've had that, dude. This happened to me twice, where I forgot to take the glass out off after 3D archery and shit. And the first time was like a 6 point. He was a nice buck, 24 yards. I could not tell what the hell I was aiming at. I had to step away from the bow, like pick my head up, find out a good aiming spot, find that, and then I shot him. The second time it happened, it was a nice 10 point, dude. Broadside, 72 yards, and fucking glass that hit the sun, and I was fucking blind, dude. And I accidentally let a shot off of that one, and it ruined it. I never saw that buck again. But but I don't know. Maybe a verifier would be best.
Yeah.
Do they have bigger than a 1/4 inch apertures, like on your hamstee shit?
Yeah.
What do you go to 5/16 or something?
5/16 I think is the biggest. I'll have to double check. We can check right now. What I want to do tomorrow is, since it's gonna be 4 of us shooting, I want to do like a scramble. So 2 versus 2. Your 2 scores versus their 2 scores, and see kind of where it's
I'm
at.
Down.
Yeah,
I'm down.
Fuck yeah, let's do that tomorrow.
So, not to give out too much information, but there's a new thing that's going to be popping up within the next couple of years, where it's an actual legit ultimate bow hunter type of storing system. So the idea behind it is that there's no storing ring. It's based off of your kill shot.
So where the heart would be, that's the heart, the lungs.
If it's angled away, you would shoot at it like if it, to kill it. Basically. Okay. And it's without saying too much about it, I think it's going to be a really big thing, man, because you're going to have an actual bow hunter class. And not only would you be competing here, but you'd be competing against other people across the nation.
That's something that I saw, which I think will change the 3D archery stuff a lot. If they start to use it, I don't know, this is related to what you're talking about, but the QR code.
I think Delta has them now.
Yeah, where you can scan that QR code and then you can see vitals. Yeah, and then you could score it according to the vitals.
Yeah, so it's going to be similar to that. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. But whenever he told me about it, I was like, oh shit, that's badass. So you can be crowned like the ultimate bow hunter in the whole nation. You know what I mean? So it's based off of the actual kill shot. Yeah. And rather than hitting a 12 ring.
That would be pretty cool. Something different, I guess.
I'll tell him my buddy John Dudley about that, see if he's down.
Yeah.
So
okay.
We're trying to be a part of that whole circuit and shit. So
that'd be sick.
It should be coming the next couple of years.
Hell yeah.
Good stuff.
All right, let's go ahead and cut it there. We're
been a good talk, George.
Right.
2.5 hours. So that's pretty good. But yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. All right. See you guys in the next one.
Later.
Later.
Link in my bio. Subscribe.